Paul here from Jackal Tactical and Otherworld Milsim. Welcome to the Otherworld Aftermath. We are going to discuss the season 2024 of Otherworld Productions Milsim events. Let's welcome our first guest, Nate, the blind sniper.
What's up, Paul?
How you doing?
Thanks for having me. First time on this. How long have you been doing this?
We did, I think, 2 videos last year and 1 the year before. We want to start doing it more frequently, but obviously being adults in airsoft, sometimes we have other things going on.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, I mean, thanks for inviting me on. My YouTube channel, like you mentioned, is Blind Sniper. I pretty much just love to snipe with my toy airsoft gun.
Yeah. It's crazy. We talk about this all the time when people always ask like how you got into airsoft, and a lot of people perceive airsoft who don't play it as kind of like we're kind of outcasts, I guess, for using toy guns. But yeah, it's pretty awesome. And your videos, I'm playing one here. Videos have always been awesome, and I know Otherworld and Jackal appreciate everything you've done for us.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I like being on the team, and I'm looking forward to the 2025. But this is gonna be fun talking about all the events from this year, because I did go to quite a few of the Otherworld events.
Yeah, awesome. I was there too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And for our next guest, Ryan Pewterai himself in the house. How's it going, Ryan?
Hey, Paul, how are you? Good.
Good.
Well.
You want to talk a little bit about your YouTube channel?
Yeah. I'm Pewterai. I play airsoft. I mean, it's pretty much as simple as that. I started the channel to basically show my journey, starting at basically bare bones, nothing, and just kind of let people see my evolution and help people along the way that might be going through the same.
I mean, if I can admit something here, like I was big into the whole YouTube thing a long time ago in airsoft, and everyone tells me like, did you watch my airsoft video? And of course I say yes all the time, but it's not true. They all seem the same. But something that's awesome with the guests we have here today for this show, you and Nate and some of the other guys, Nico, the videos are more unique. And I do believe that people will get a lot more out of your videos, especially your guys' review videos are great. So people should definitely keep that in mind when looking at any of the influencers that help out with Jackal and Otherworld. Their videos are top notch and not like every other video that I don't watch. So
awesome. Well, thank you for having me on with these legends. I'm really fortunate to be in a room with some really awesome guys.
You think Ductape's a legend?
I think so. I think he is. I've heard stories.
You've heard stories?
I've heard some stories.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming. Like I said, this is something we want to do more often. It's just fun to talk about things like, I know it's hectic for me around event time, and like, I forget what happens from one event to the next, but it's nice to talk about it and get to hear experiences from you guys, and see what you guys thought. So once again, I appreciate you coming on, and yeah, I'm looking forward to hear what you have to say.
Awesome.
Thank you. Let's bring in my man, Nico.
Hey, what's going
What's
on,
up,
buddy?
Nico?
How you doing?
How you doing?
Fine day. It's a great day today. How you doing?
Good. So, your team, 13 people now, huh?
Yeah, so far. We've been doing this for about 2 years now. Been trying to come out to places like Ambush, OXL, your events, and we've been not only been promoting the game for like the newer generation, but it's definitely been something for even like people who have experience. They've never been to Milsims, especially for OWM. It's definitely something great for people to start going out to, having their experience out, and there's never really any complaints.
One thing I could definitely say that I love about the Lebanon Airsoft Society is that you guys have a good mix of players, like different skill levels and stuff like that. Like you didn't leave anyone out from being on your team, and I can respect that, and I think that's pretty awesome that you did things that way. So
yeah, we're just trying to develop like a nice coalition of people who it's more of a community than a team, really, and especially that we're getting the numbers up for how many people we want to. We're about to be able to even split off into 2 teams for your events, so we'll be out in the fields like everywhere.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. And it is awesome. I get to see Nico pretty often because he lives a couple minutes from the store in Lebanon, so it's awesome when there's a problem. Nico could come right in, we could talk about it, and it's awesome. So
it's only just a little bike ride away.
Yep. Well, thanks for coming in, man, and we'll looking forward to hearing what you and the team has to say about stuff. So
heck yeah, brother. Here's the
thanks,
2025.
Yep, thanks, man. And last but not least, Josh the Ductape Williams. What's up, Josh?
Hey, Paul. How's it going?
How you doing, man?
All right.
Josh is also one of our Dungeons and Dragons players, so
I'm a super nerd.
Super nerd, yeah. So you actually, you're the only one here that was actually command at one of our events.
Correct.
So you actually a big one. We fought a couple of years to make Draco happen, and you stepped up when we needed people, and I appreciate that.
Of course, anytime.
But how long have you been playing airsoft now?
I've been playing airsoft for almost 10 years. I stopped when I got into high school. Oddly enough, my teacher was looking at me sideways with coming into school with all these marks on my arms, thinking that my father was burning cigarettes. I had to tell them that they're plastic pellets.
So you got out of it when you got into girls. Is that what happened?
Basically.
Okay. Yeah.
Basically.
I'm sure that's all happened to us. I was actually married already when I started playing airsoft, so she just hated me for it for a little bit, but it's no big deal.
Actually, main reason why I got out is because I joined the military back in high school. So I was like, well, there's no point in playing Army when I'm actually in the Army.
There's no point in playing Army when you were playing Army.
Exactly.
All right. Fair enough. But yeah, I look forward to you were at every one of our events this year, right?
Mm-hmm. At every event, whether I was helping work it or play it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I appreciate the support. I know, your past teams and your new teams have been huge supporters of Jackal and Otherworld, and I appreciate you for that. So I'm looking forward to hearing, especially how your commanding went.
Yeah.
Draco. So thanks for coming.
Of course. Thank you.
Thanks, bro.
I mean, I definitely think I've seen all of you guys at least, especially you, Paul, at each event. I know you, Ryan, you and your crew actually team killed me, I believe.
Yes. That wasn't anyone from my crew in
Yeah.
particular, but we were with that squad. Yeah.
What game was that? Apocalypse? Or
No, that was Night Sky.
Night Sky.
That was
okay.
a Night Sky.
Yeah.
So he's on the same team, and he team killed you.
Yes.
Yeah, I was up at the top of the one hill and ran into an enemy squad and got pushed back, and I was like, oh, thank God, there's my team, and then they killed me.
No challenge words, huh? No challenge words.
Just no chance. Take no chance.
Yeah.
Take no chance.
That's
all
how
right.
I don't blame
like
them.
that.
Shoot first, ask questions later.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can always revive them depending on, since I was a
there?
sniper, I think the other squads can revive the sniper, so I was okay. But if I would have team killed them, that would have been
Kinda
unfortunate.
cooked. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, sniping, it's something I never really did sniping. I know I'm a big dude and stuff, but I always was the door kicker. I want to be the first one in. I want to see the red in everyone's eyes. That's why everyone builds these guns to shoot a mile. I don't care as long as my gun shoots 20 feet accurately. Mm-hmm. That's all I care about. So you're definitely doing something different that I know most of us here haven't done or don't do in sniping. I don't know how you do it. I mean, you sit there patiently and
Yeah, a lot of people say things like that, but I honestly think it's easy. In terms of going in the building, stuff like that, I feel like I suck. I would never want to do that. I think sniping's easy because as long as you got the range, you have the advantage. But once they start to get closer is when you're at the disadvantage. And even if you have a sidearm, that's great, but you got this little pew-pew pistol and someone's coming at you with, super fast semi-auto.
Well, that's why you recently bought a sidearm, hoping that it ranges a little bit better.
Yeah, because I run 4.8s in that too, the SSX, Navrich SSX 23, and HPA tapped the mags. I used it, I think, one game, maybe two, but I like it because usually had the MP5. But
it does. The gun does shoot well. Even that SSX 303, the rifle they turned it into.
Yeah.
It does shoot well for a Navrich gun for sure.
Yeah, because what do you guys run, AG or HPA or?
I run HPA.
All the time?
Yeah, all the time. I have a Crytek Mark 18 I built myself. It started out as an SPR. I put a Jack Fusion engine in it, curved speed trigger in it, and then I bought the whole Mad Bull Daniel Defense front end. I did the whole inner barrel assembly, the max hop up, Crazy Jet barrel, a couple other things. Man, that thing ranges really, really well.
Yeah, the Fusion, that's a higher end one, right? Isn't it supposed to be more air efficient or?
I have the Jack, which is a little less air efficient.
Okay.
It's a good introduction level if you want to do an HPA drop-in system and you don't want to spend the money for a Fusion engine or the F2. The Jack is a really good way to get started.
The Jacks are definitely. I mean, we're probably installing around 50 a year. Mm-hmm. Jacks, and that's not including people that are buying them and doing it themselves. So.
Yeah, I do all my guns. I've HPA'd myself.
Yeah, Paul, you guys primarily have Polar Star. You have some Wolverine though, don't you?
Yeah, we started. So Wolverine at first, we loved the MTWs, and we made sure we started carrying all the MTW models, and then we slightly here started having people ask for their air stocks, which are really good. We don't sell a lot of their engines. We primarily sell a lot of Polar Star stuff. We even carried some of the Gate engines as well. They didn't do so well either, but the Polar Star, especially the Jack, like when we got the Jackal jacks made with our own logo, I mean, we sell, like I said, we've sold a ton.
My demo ranch ESG has it in.
The Jackal jack,
Show it off too.
The demo ranch. You should have brought that here for the display. The demo ranch.
Lost the battery cover, man. It looks now.
Oh my God.
Cherry, man.
Yeah, Nico doesn't always have the best luck with.
I want to
guns
find
and
one of
stuff.
those demo ranch airsoft guns and put my infusion, put the Kythera one in it,
That would be
and
really
make
cool.
that like a cool lightweight. Put like an air stock on it, so it's all self-contained and just
Yeah.
run.
That's what I run when I play. I run the Kythera. I mean, I definitely. I mean, I feel like we're promotional for Polar Star right now, but like the Kythera, I never have. I can pull that gun out of a water puddle or anything, and that gun's gonna work.
Well, I have that.
You know?
I have that 416 that I got from you. And I bought the Kythera from Greg, and I'm gonna put that into that and have it like I call it my rainy day gun, basically. For it's like when the weather's inclement or it's cold out, I'm just gonna run the Kythera and be done and keep rocking.
Yeah, like I said, it doesn't have the same little hair trigger that the Fusion engine or the F2 or the Jack, but I mean, man, it's more of a realistic trigger pull, and I can beat the crap out of that gun. I mean, my gun. Everyone's like, "Oh, you own this, so your guns are probably." All, my guns look like shit. They do. Like, I don't care. I throw my guns through windows. I let people borrow my stuff. Like, it doesn't matter for me with airsoft. I'm always like, anything can be fixed. So
Yeah.
Until you abuse it.
that's, I mean, these people that like babysit their guns the whole time and
Yeah.
stuff like that, like they don't want to play in the rain or whatever. That's not for me, man. Like, I got into this to play in the rain and the snow, and
We've had some
all.
rainy events this year.
Yeah.
It's been crazy.
we got lucky. We got lucky for a couple years there. I mean, everyone used to call they used to call downfall downpour because it would the one year
Sundays, every Sunday.
the 1 year we had I want to say it was like 3 inches of rain at downfall, and it was brutal. And we still had people that stuck it out though. I mean, everyone's guns were breaking down and they were using pistols but I mean, this year though, you're right. We did have some rain. I think we did definitely downfall and night sky. We had some rain.
Downfall, Night Sky, and Draco. It rained for like 15 minutes at Draco. I remember that.
That was so lucky because it was like right at the beginning, I think.
Yeah, it was
An
like
eight
right
minute
out. Yeah, right out the gate. We're like, oh,
Oh, yeah.
okay, we see the storm coming in. All right, hunker down for like 5 minutes. All right, we're good. Back to it.
Yeah, they were. I mean, unfortunately, being down there in South Carolina, I'm sure that's how the weather is there. Like,
Yeah,
you're gonna have those quick passing thunderstorms
It
or
rolls in,
showers.
rolls out.
I loved it though. It added like a different level of immersion to it, especially with going through all the rustic, like post-apocalyptic metal structures, man, and then having a little bit of rain cloud, having to take cover for about an hour, and
Yeah,
go
the
back
gloomy
into
day.
Yeah,
made it so much better.
It
Oh my
adds
God.
to it.
yeah. I do like when it rains. Relatively speaking, when it rains lightly, it's fun. But when it's just an absolute downpour, it's just like
That's why, like, I know most of us are prepared. Like, these people, like, I'm fogging, or this or that with their eye protection. It's like, if you can spend $1,000 on your gun, you can spend that on your eye protection.
Yeah,
get an X fog or those new glasses we got, which sold out in like 30 seconds. But
yeah. I have to try those new ones out. I've
Someone
been
let me try
running.
them.
I'm me of all people. Greg can agree to this. I'm very picky about eye pro, face pro. I was dealing with the
same.
fogging
but
whatever.
you should be. You should be.
Yeah.
You should be like, don't go buy the $15 glasses
Right.
and get mad because you're fogging.
Yeah, I started off with the Valkens, and I liked them. But then I was like, all right, they're good, but I'm still fogging pretty well, pretty hard. So I went up to the ESSs, and I did better. And then I was like, all right, they're not quite as comfortable. I found that they would slide off my face, and I wasn't too happy about it. So I went with the M frames, and with the Helo kit, which was great. But then I got the X Fogs with the Valhalla gasket, and I'm never changing.
Yeah, I'll tell you, to be honest with you, my least favorite glasses I ever owned were Oakley's for airsoft.
Really?
I had nothing
Oakley made
but...
airsoft?
Huh?
Oakley's made ballistic air.
Well, the M
Yeah.
frames.
Yeah.
Anything, what is it, Z87? Because
Yeah.
I run prescription, and I used to always just wear goggles that fit over my glasses. And then, to me, I always ran like a mask fan or something, but that's an extra layer, and I feel like you'd fog easier because you got the glasses, and then you have the goggles. And,
you got more
yeah,
going
and
on.
it became, after so many years, it was all about comfort, and I was so tired of having a bulky mask So I ended up getting prescription ANSI-rated glasses, and it's just nice having something low pro, because if I actually look to try and see my radio and whatnot, I can see it. With a mask, it's like you're restricted with your view, and I think that's like a disadvantage.
That's the issue I've been having with running a dye, and I've been running it for about 4 years now. But like, as much as I love them that they don't fog up, there's just some times where there's some angles that I can't see. Now I'm looking into getting one of those Imperials, whatever they're called. They're like the really large visored masks.
The EVSs?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Those are the ones that you said sold out real
Yeah, these
quick.
are this is one of our new products, the Tritech aerators. We got like 30 of them in. I don't know if they lasted 24 hours.
Wow.
The company is really awesome to deal with, but they are having a very hard time. And as far as I know, we were one of the only companies to have them in the U.S., but I wish we just could have had them longer. So we're waiting. Next order, fingers crossed, hopefully January or February. But this is the real deal. They're really awesome. I said the only downside to it is the battery, the internal battery, is not going to last an entire event.
They're in there.
What, the batteries?
The glasses are in there.
Yeah, because it's rechargeable, right? You don't swap them out.
Correct.
Right.
Oh, so you could probably run a power bank.
Yeah,
too.
you can run a power bank.
That solves everything.
But yeah, actually, Phil Lopez from One Legion, he bought a pair and got them overseas and got them in. He's like, dude, these are the best things I've ever worn. And he's been playing airsoft for a long, long time. And I instantly hooked up with this company. And we actually, as far as face protection, we went all in the last year. I mean, we got this company as an account, direct account now. We do MB Tactical for the mesh.
Yes.
And we just got the Cygnus Armory stuff. We got tons of that in. And it's like these three companies, I think, along with Xfog, are probably the best companies for face protection.
Yeah, it's like endgame.
I have the NB Tactical Ghost Mask, and I absolutely love that thing.
Yep. So I have that same thing. I have the one that unfortunately goes under your nose. And
because your nose keeps getting hit now every game because of that.
Yes. See, that's the thing. I do like having a full face thing, but one thing I've learned, because I don't always run a fan of some sort, is when you have your nose exposed and you exhale, when your face is enclosed in a mask, you fog more because of like the air and heat rising and whatever. But I love that mask, and the only thing I didn't like about it was you'd have to wear it with the balaclava or whatever it's called. So I took some paracord or some elastic, and I put that on it, so it's just like a really low pro mesh mask, and I don't need to wear the mask. Nice. So on a summer day, it's just nicer.
I actually said it would have been nice if NB Tactical did create a mesh that you did not have to wear the gator. Balaclava. Like just even if they made an attachment for their mesh, you already have the clip on the sides. And
yeah, I should have brought mine. It's literally just like a little cinch thing that's like on like a boonie strap, and I just put that on strings on the mask, and it just attaches to the back of my neck, and so far it's the most comfortable thing. Because realistically, I want to see if I'm alone on this. Over the years that you guys have been playing airsoft, how many times do you think you've modified your gear, your gun, until I still to this day change everything, and I'll go out, run at a game, and it's like I'm still not happy with it.
Yeah, I've been modifying my equipment over years of playing, changing out different face masks, trying different things. I tried the metal mesh. It's like right here. It's part of the balaclava. I tried that, but it was too loose. It bounced around, shift weird. But once I went to the NB, I was like, all right, this is perfect.
Yep.
I did get the mask before I got the actual gator that NB makes, and I was still having some problems with it. But then I got the actual NB mask, the mask to put it in, and I love it. I really do.
We were talking about, too, I wanted to bring up what you said about wearing the paintball goggles. You used to wear them over your glasses. You ever wear them over your glasses? Mm-mm. You always wore something else. But I know that, like, the i5s are, like, hands down the best goggle you can buy. But people will be like, oh, you said I wouldn't fog when they're wearing glasses. Well, I didn't say your glasses wouldn't fog. And that's what normally happens when it's suctioned in there. Your glasses just get... And sometimes it ain't even fogging. It's just the amount of moisture on your glasses almost makes it... Because I almost quit... When I first started playing airsoft, I almost quit playing after like a month of playing because I wore glasses and a paintball goggle, and it was a nightmare.
It'll turn... If you try and take someone, you're trying to explain to someone, like, look, I know it seems nerdy, we're playing with toy guns. I always have a bunch of friends I try and get to come out. If you take someone out for their first time and their mask fogs, that could potentially ruin
100%. They're done. And we've seen people we've had fathers of kids that would play the first time. They're like, oh, I can't do it. I just sweat too much. I fog too much. I'm like, you're using a rental goggle from a field that has scratches all over it. There's probably no more protection, thermal protection anymore on those goggles. Yeah. Like, you have to get your own, and that's what I tell people. It's like $200 might seem expensive for an i5, but it's not when you're never going to fog again. If you want that full face protection, the i5s are still, and we just got a whole bunch of new colors in, and people are going nuts over them. Really? So, yeah.
Oh, what was it? Coulter just showed me his Jack and Sally custom.
Oh, yeah, the Road Custom ones.
Oh, my. The Sally one?
Yeah, it came out
really
good.
My God, there's so much detail in it.
I just wish we would have got them for Halloween for them, but...
Yeah, awesome. But they're still sick.
We got some other cool Road Customs ones. We got... I'm a big fan into, like, Borderlands, so, like, the cell shading and, like, that animated feel, so we got a couple in like that.
I seen him post them on his Instagram.
And, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, we actually... one thing that you mentioned about Instagram, like, I wanted to bring up, like, I know, like, probably a lot of our followers are probably getting a little irritated with us because, like, we don't post as much anymore, and the reason we don't is our accounts are, like, one bad post away from being shut down. And it's like, to me, it's more important to have those accounts exist for people to see them than it is the constant posts. And that's why we're trying to bring people onto our Jackal Tactical group page. And that's where we have a lot of, and it's gaining people. I mean, we gain people probably 50, 60, 70 people a week.
Facebook group.
We're almost at
the Facebook group page. Yeah. And because we have a good, one of our guys who handles that, his name's Doug. He's the one who vets through all the people that because we don't want other companies trying to sell stuff on there. We don't want people trying to trash us or our business. So he goes through and makes sure they're not bots or anything like that. Yeah. So everyone that's on that page are legit people. And when it comes to, like, us doing giveaways and stuff in the future, that's the page you want to be on. Because every time on Facebook, I mean, we posted pictures of boxes and it got flagged. And I got, you know, and I know other airsoft stores. And I mean, I know Evic lost their Facebook account. Yeah. You know, it's crazy. Like, the toy guns are being, like... You know, they don't like us and our toy guns, you know, so...
Oh, no, we support a safe community with replica firearms.
Dude, not only that, like, if people, these companies who actually shit on this stuff, if they'd actually be a part of it, like, the amount of young children who had no friends or anything like that come and play Airsoft and now have friends and are a part of a community, like, come on, dude, in Airsoft... We have every kind of person in Airsoft.
Yeah.
Every kind of person.
Oh, yeah.
Every race, every sex, every age, everything. And we all coexist together fine in Airsoft. If these people like Facebook and Instagram or Shopify who cut our website off because of toy guns, or Apple who cut our stuff off because of toy guns, if these people that are sitting there collecting this money would actually come see how good our communities are, especially for the youth, like, there's no way they would ever shit on it the way they do. And it's crazy. And it's super frustrating as a business owner. You know, like, I can't lose Facebook for the fact of events. I mean, that's the best source for event pages and stuff like that. I can't lose those things. So if you're saying, oh, the Jackal doesn't post anymore, Otherworld doesn't post anymore, it ain't that we don't want to.
Right.
It's that we can't.
Yeah.
So join our group page, the Jackal Tactical group page on Facebook, because there we post freely. And it doesn't get flagged like the regular pages and stuff do.
Yeah, that's where we come into. I always try and, like, promote it, because I don't post on Instagram too much either, but when I do, it's always, you know, here's an event that I plan to go to coming up, and then I'll post it. You know, all of us doing that, I hope that contributes just a little bit, because it gets
I think it definitely does. I mean, so 2024, you know, I'm going to be honest about it. It's a rough year. I mean, the economy's super bad. But listening to what other producers and stuff have lost in numbers, we didn't lose near what these other people did. And I believe that's because all of you people, I believe you guys, like, promoting and pushing our events and showing, like, the awesome videos and stuff like that, I think it's helped so much. I mean, like I said, there's other events that we vend at who their numbers were cut in half this year. We were never nowhere near cut in half for an event. Awesome. We might have been down 30, 40 people from the year before, but not like some of these other events losing 400 or 500 players an event. Yeah. So and like I said, and that if we wouldn't have had you guys helping push that where we couldn't, we might have had a lot less. You know, especially at the new events. It's like, you know, we had like Code Orange. When we asked in the beginning, I forget who it was that asked, how many people was your first time at an Otherworld event, and more than half the people raised their hands.
I was really surprised when I was at the raffle. When you did that, I was like, wow, this is awesome.
Now, granted, a lot of people might have already left by then, but it's like, that was an unbelievable number of people. That was their first time. And we not even just that event. We get that at every event when we ask that. There's always, like, we're shocked at the amount of new people, because let's face it, people come and go. Like people like we talked about earlier, like you get a girlfriend or you get married or you have a kid or there's a medical thing going on, and like people, they do come and go sometimes.
Yeah.
But we have to, as a community, if we want it to keep going, we need to get these new players to these events so we can keep it going. Because like every event producer, if you get to the point where no one's coming, they're not going to do it anymore. And it's possible. Look what happened to paintball. Paintball, at least in this region, is 100% a dead sport.
Yes, that's another thing I like, especially about your events and any decent ones in general. When I was getting into Airsoft and I wanted to start going to something that wasn't just a simple walk-on game, because if you live like in a state and you go to a walk-on field, you might get bored real quick going to the same field. So that's when you start to have even more fun when you get to travel for events. And I was always like, oh man, a Milsim, that's like a serious one. But you don't need to have any type of skill or anything to go to a Milsim just because it's classified as an op or a Milsim. Like, I like that there's no restrictions. Like, you could, your first time ever, and you could just show up, just wear the right color camo, and you're good to go.
Oh yes, please wear the right color camos.
Yes.
I think we're very lenient in that. Please wear
Read
the right
rules, please.
Well, I like that you
there for a
enforce
reason.
it. Man, I've been to games years ago, and I remember, I probably have the clip somewhere. I shot this guy. I thought he was on the other team. I actually don't even know if he was or not. And he was wearing, like, woodland pants with, like, a multicam top, different color gear. It's like, what team are you on?
And especially when, like, everyone has a surplus store near them.
Yeah.
And you can get, like, classic woodland for, like, next to nothing.
Oh, yeah.
We always get them players who are like, well, all my team's on multicam, but I didn't have multicam. That's a you
Looks
problem.
like you're not
That's not my problem. It's your problem. You know, but like you said, like so like one thing, like I try not to let these other people in Airsoft, like producers or stores, because unfortunately it is the way it is. You try to be friendly with all these people and it's just not that way. It just isn't. As much as we want it to be, it's just not. But the one time someone made the comment that my games are Milsim light, and it kind of pissed me off. It did, because it's like, first off, what is Milsim and what is Milsim light? Like, what are they? Like, you know, I think you're wearing camo, you're coming to an event, you're playing with a team.
The ghost.
That's the ghost, yeah. That's Milsim. Like, you as a military, we are LARPers, cosplayers. That's what we are, and that is military. So like,
Yeah.
I don't want to hear this bullshit Milsim light to not Milsim light. Like, look, I wasn't in the military. In fact, the only one of us here it was you, Ductape. And it's like, Milsim light, all my friends that were in the military sat behind computers. So if I'm on my computer, am I Milsim?
Yeah.
Sitting behind my computer, you know?
I think flying a drone, I mean, maybe.
You know, but I'm just saying, like, I hate when people, like, that was one of the negative things that was said a couple years ago about one of my events, and it kind of pissed me off. And it was another producer who made that comment about my game being Milsim light.
Like, you don't have to spend 40 hours on the same field to make it count as a Milsim.
Yeah, just
Or sleep and
You don't got to spend, I mean,
Yeah.
you know, and like, that once again, like, we have players that they come to an event that can't come to the whole 12 hours, and that's fine too.
Yeah.
You know, but doesn't mean it's not Milsim because they didn't, or they're not Milsim because they didn't.
That's the thing. If you pay and you sign the waiver, like, you're pretty much welcome at the event. There's no type of like class or test you have to pass. And if someone's gonna be like a tryhard and like shit on me and say I'm a noob, it's like you're playing with a toy gun too.
Yeah.
So what classification
And
are you
dude,
trying
some
to
of the
give me?
things I remember most are when the little kid with a Springer killed me.
Oh,
you know what I
man.
mean?
Yeah.
I'll never forget it. I wish he would watch this video. I haven't seen him in years. His name is Truffle. But he was a young kid at Ambush, always trying to be with the teams and hang out. And we went there a snow game to one time. And he literally, me and Shane, who was on my team at the time, we were the only two on the team that, you know, went through a foot of snow to get there. And we're playing, and we were just shredding everyone that game. We were doing, you know, it was awesome. Well, all of a sudden, Truffle pops out of these tires with this spring pistol and shoots Shane and kills him.
Nice.
It's like that. I'll never forget that. But I'll you know, the unique stuff.
Yeah.
That's the shit you
I
never
love getting
forget.
to heavy firefights with other guys in full gear, but when there's that one kid that comes around the corner, you just can't help but be like, I'm not going to shoot you. I'll shoot at you just to scare you, but I'm going to let you get me for the fact of you're going to remember this and want to keep playing.
Yeah.
And that's what's
Yeah.
important.
Yeah.
Like,
I do want to mention another thing that
Shut up.
kind of
maybe.
kind of off airsoft topic, but you do know Ryan's dad is like the greatest marksman with a BB gun and pellet gun and stuff that I've ever seen in my entire life.
Wow.
Like his videos, look him up on YouTube. Shooting caps off of bottles or throwing coins in the air and shooting them out of the air with a BB gun and stuff.
Like with a Red Rider?
Yeah, with he'll use anything, right?
Holy shit.
Because we're coming up on 100,000 subs on his channel.
Damn.
Like Crossman and stuff like that. He used to be sponsored by like Crossman.
Still is. They all.
What's
everybody.
What's the channel name?
Shooter 1721.
Yeah, like it's like before I even I've met his dad years and years and years before I even met Ryan, but like those videos, I remember the one time when I met him at Ambush, I sat up for hours watching these videos because it's like almost unbelievable.
Trick shots.
With BB guns.
At 300 yards.
Yeah,
like talking about 10 feet away.
Like iron sights too?
Oh yeah, he's done no sights.
Man.
No sights upside down.
Yeah.
So like.
Yeah, he's probably the most world famous trick shooter for that stuff.
Go to 22 Plinkster. Him and 22 Plinkster went.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that.
Air guns versus Dad and him went head to head.
That's cool.
So on his channel. So
I follow 22 Plinkster.
Yeah.
I follow a bunch of those.
Yeah, the
guys.
one time he had a
That's
bottle
cool.
sitting there and he shot it and hit the cap off the bottle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, spun it off.
Yeah, it's
whatever.
like
Oh, that's insane.
He tells us this stuff
So
at
you-
like Thanksgiving. We're like, yeah, whatever, Dad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I just wanted to bring that up because like your dad probably helped you like with the whole like YouTube and social media. That was a good startup for you because he was like involved in that for a long time, long time. So,
How did each of you guys get started on YouTube specifically?
I'm not on YouTube. I'm on Instagram. I do take footage. I have a camera, but I just haven't. I've been collecting it.
he has 17,000 hours of footage that he'll never edit.
It's mainly for the one time of you didn't hit me. Oh really?
Yeah.
I did.
I mentioned that's why everyone initially buys some form of camera. And I learned real quick. There was actually someone commented on one of my videos. I shot someone and they looked like I was like yelling at I was like yelling. They couldn't hear me, but I was like, "Oh, call your fucking hit." And then I posted it and someone was like, "That wasn't even a hit." And before I like started arguing with someone in the comments, I kind of went back and when I edit, I don't edit in full resolution because like my laptop will probably blow up. I ended up like changing it and looking, and there was like one frame where I zoomed in and you could see the BB didn't hit him. So I was like, wow. And there's so many times where I'm in game and I think that I hit someone, and when I go look at the footage, I didn't.
It's funny you bring it up that way because my rules, I tell a story. I start it through every event. I believe probably 70% of the time when people are thinking they're hitting someone and they're flipping out about it, they're actually not hitting them.
I'm guilty of it.
True.
Yeah, and I think we're all guilty. I mean, we're all. But the story goes like this. This was not this past night sky, but the one before. There was a guy in the town area shooting towards the castle, and he was flipping out that bad. His face was all red, and he was going nuts. He's like, "Ref, you gotta fucking watch them guys. I'm shooting them," and he's flipping out.
BBs are like...
So I'm like, okay. So I walk up to the castle. I stood at the bottom of the castle. His BBs were falling at least 10 foot shy of even hitting the castle, and they're up in the second story of the castle. Just because you have that 2 times, 3 times magnified scope. That's for real guns. That doesn't work for airsoft ranges. So, keep that in mind that you're probably, a lot of times, maybe everyone's not as much of a cheater as you think they are. You're probably not actually hitting them. So
I used to get kind of heated when you're, you're kind of like have like a 1v1 almost where you're shooting at something like that. And especially sniping, they'd be shooting and they're falling short. I'm at least, at a decent range with my gun and they're not hitting me. And I used to, be like, oh, they're not hitting me, I'm not calling it. And when they would get super butthurt, I would just be like, you know what? They're landing near me. I don't want this guy to, like, cry anymore. Sometimes I'll just call it. I'll just go respawn and then come back and try and snipe him.
That's how I am with grenades.
Yeah.
If a grenade lands near me, even if BBs don't hit me outside or whatever, it's like, that person just threw a $20 grenade at me. I can be nice and call. If it lands...
I do the same.
If we're trying to be Milsim, realistically, we'd all be deaf forever, and most of us would be dead from the concussion. So,
well, back to that, the whole Milsim thing. What is your definition of a Milsim? To me, it's something where you play for. It's not a walk-on day. There's no 20-minute round, and it's squad based. Like, the whole Milsim light thing, like if you go to a Milsim, what makes it a Milsim?
I would say some of the key features you probably need is objectives.
Objectives.
Maybe over 10 hours, and you need to be squad based with matching camos.
Yeah.
I'd say that's like
Checks every box.
I'd say that's
Yep.
like
Yeah.
the basic.
I mean, I think it also just means a group of different people who would have never been friends if it wasn't for Airsoft get together, they match together, and they play together. Why doesn't that justify Milsim?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's where, like I said, that's why I think that Milsim Light, even though it wasn't probably meant that bad against me, I kind of took that to heart because it's like
Yeah.
I built my Milsim games for every kind of player and not only the diehards
Yeah.
Right.
who can afford the most expensive night vision and thermals and gear and stuff like that. I'm for the people like me and Nico who grew up in Lebanon with nothing. You know what I mean? Who can still go play and be a part of it and stuff like that. So
Well, what's funny is when I first started playing Airsoft when I was like 14, 15 years old, I was just playing at, it's no longer around, but Battlefield Airsoft. It was a indoor field in Aston, PA. And that's all I did. I just played there. I played outdoor, I think, with a couple friends just in the woods. And then I got into high school, got into the military, cars and everything. I was like, all right, well, maybe Airsoft isn't really my thing right now. And then right after COVID, during COVID, I was playing Call of Duty all the time, and I got, you know how you rage when you play Call of Duty. You're like, oh,
oh yeah,
that's
I'm
crazy.
ready to kill people for real every time I play
Right.
Call of Duty.
I'm like,
so.
this is supposed to be fun, but my blood pressure is going this way,
Yeah.
and my fun's going this way. I'm doing something wrong. So then I was like, you know what? I'm going to get back into Airsoft. Because I had stuff sitting around, and then...
and you met great people from
I
coming
met
back.
great... Exactly. I went...
Like meeting Greg.
yeah, Greg...
Greg's like one of the
Nate,
greatest human beings
all the
ever.
4E
So.
guys, they're the main reason that helped me, like, be the catalyst to want me to stay into Airsoft. To keep playing, and then they're like, yeah, we're going to an Otherworld Milsim event. And I was like, oh, Milsim. I've never been to one of those before. I've watched Milsim West, Jet Desert Fox videos, from Milsim West videos, American Milsim, and I'm like, that's really cool. I'd love to do that. Get the frag grenades, and to me, a Milsim is just the immersion of simulated battle. Things that you can't do at a gun range, things you can't do in your backyard, things you can't do, in real world without joining the military, private contracting, or just going overseas to help, how Ukraine's like, hey, we need people to fight. Like stuff like that. Like, Milsim to me is just being able to have a simulated force on force, making friends, having fun, and being separate from the real world for a little bit.
Yeah, and with and I know we keep talking about the whole Milsim thing. What is Milsim? But like, I just want to say to the camera right now and everyone watching, if you're not welcomed at any other event, you're welcomed at ours.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Like,
real.
come play Milsim with us. We will gladly shoot at you. You can gladly shoot at us, and we'll have a good time. And like, there's a lot of people too that I saw, like, these teams wouldn't pick them up. They suck. Like, that should be a good thing where but that should be a thing where, like, for me, I'm like, that's the people I want, because now if I turn him into a great player,
Right.
that's like, that's a project too, that's,
Yeah.
And like, that's the thing that like blows my mind is playing
They sponsor.
is Greg's planting C4 in the studio. Careful.
But like I said, I'm and I'm not trying to sound cheesy with that. I'm sure people will be offended with that, but like, and everyone will be like, oh, he's just saying it because he wants their money. Bullshit. I cap my games. I don't throw 700 people in a facility that can only hold 200 people.
Right.
So like, I'm just saying, like, we welcome everybody.
Plus, what other events do you go to that allow drones, technicals? You got to also use, like, just immersive different uses. I've seen people use camera setups in hallways, just like to hold down an area. I've dropped
Or
cheese
people
on
bring
technicals.
lights. People
Like,
bring lights and set them up in the hallways and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
do it. Well, they shouldn't be able to do that, but why not?
Yeah.
Why not? They find lights and they have lights and they want to set them there. Just keep in mind, I'm shooting them out.
Yep.
If I come down the hallway and that light's behind me, I'm shooting it out.
I always say, you signed the waiver.
Yep.
Yeah.
You signed the waiver.
100%.
Can I just say, Code Orange, talking about that event in particular, there were so many moving parts. You did such a great job with the drones, the technicals. It went without a hitch. I mean, it was perfect.
That was a great way to end the year for sure.
What's funny? So I bought I bought a deuce and a half from Denny at Ambush. It was supposed to be completely working condition. It was not.
That's the big truck, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big transport.
It's supposed to be completely working and road legal and all that. Well, it's not. So we spent all this money trying to get it ready for Code Orange. But all I have to say is thank God it wasn't ready. Because after I went there and drove the U-Haul around, I would have never been able to make those turns with that Deuce.
That would have been wild.
I would have never, ever been able to use that. I would have been so disappointed because
buildings on the floor.
So like now I know I'm not taking the Deuce to Code Orange even if we get it working because and people were fine with the U-Haul and we used it a lot. That thing drove. I think we drove like from the whole event like 60 some miles.
Oh, so
that's a lot.
I love the exfil out of the U-Haul and taking security around it. Whatever your exfil.
Well, and your team, you guys had the double technical and that what was the name of the red hand or
Red Hand and I forgot what the other guys.
But they had the Hummer, the troop transport Hummer, so they were taking their own troops out, and everyone's like, they shouldn't be allowed, but why not? They have it.
Yeah.
They have it.
I know. Fourth echelon, we were goofing around about saying, "Oh, we need to have a technical," and the Havoc guys too are like, "We should make a technical." And like, I have one. And there's like three other guys that have Jeep Cherokees.
Oh my god!
And those are like the most usable for technicals because they're cheap. You can cut them up and no one cares.
Had
You do
gasket
whatever
or
with them. The 4-liter, it's all right. But so like I have one too, and I'm like half considering like once it's no longer road legal, which it's like teetering that line, I might just turn it into a technical.
Well, the only problem is most of these companies, like especially GTI. It had to be legal.
Yeah.
It had to have registration. It had to have insurance.
Oh, really?
To be at GTI, yeah.
So the Deuce and a Half, though, something like that, that's also state-based. So how would they do that if it's in like...
I can, with my Deuce, I have antique plates for
antique,
it,
yeah.
So
And
I can travel
now
with
that,
Nice.
that, would you have like, do you haul that? Or do you drive it?
Well, our plan was to drive it and cost $1 bazillion to get it there.
But is it like... mechanically reliable? Like, could it make that drive like hours
well,
and hours?
it was built in the 70s, so I think so.
Okay.
It's a tank.
It's better than anything built today, probably.
What, does it like cap out at like 50 miles an hour or anything?
I think Corey said it starts vibrating pretty good after like 55 miles per hour.
Yeah.
Still, being back one of those
man.
on a highway,
Yeah, I was
That'd be cool.
Anybody wondering about, was he actually in the military? Yes. I was a 91 Bravo, which is a light-wheeled vehicle mechanic. So I work with Humvees, LMTVs, FMTVs, 915 Freightliners. So yeah, Humvees and those light troop transport vehicles at like 65 mile an hour are scary.
So basically now
scary.
the Deuce is probably going to turn into a parade vehicle, if you want to be honest with you. I was just going to sell it again and try to get, I wouldn't mind getting a troop transport Hummer because I thought that was pretty cool. But then again, I'm like, man, I can link up next year, maybe like my daughters and Scouts. Link up with the Scouts. We'll do a Jackal, Deuce float and have the kids on it for the Scouts as well. And
that would be cool.
Yeah. Have you come drive it? You come drive it for the parade.
All right, sure. Yeah, make the tall guy sit in the Deuce and a Half where the steering wheel's here. Thanks.
Look, you're right. There's no more BNS.
Hey, that Deuce and a Half, we almost when we did the Wishwell video, it rolled down the hill and we almost
got crushed by
crushed half of Ambush's buildings with the thing rolling away.
This is why the military standard is drip pan and wheel chock for every single vehicle.
Yeah, we
could
weren't,
never trust
we weren't
those
unfortunately that smart. We fixed it. We saved it. We just crushed one thing.
I remember getting in front of it the
one
first
skull.
time. I was like, I think I can help out, and then no.
Oh yeah, everyone's like, it was funny. Everyone's grabbing it and trying to stop it. It's like we're not stopping this thing from moving. Like it weighs way too much.
So
But
nuts.
Yeah, I was with a 223rd Transportation Company in Newtown Square. I was a reservist. Okay, whatever. I still, took that oath, went through basic training at Fort Benning, Georgia, in the dead heat of summer. We all started the same training. So it's like, wow. My brain just stopped.
that happened to me. Greg called me last night. That's what happened to me. I was trying to have a conversation. I'm sitting there falling asleep at the computer as he's trying to have a conversation with me. But
yeah, we fortunately never had any vehicles roll away. We've had vehicles gotten stuck because a lot of those guys were 9-to-5 or desk jockeys that got the keys to a military vehicle. And like, okay, go have fun. Don't get it stuck. What did they do? Got them stuck.
Yeah, and you asked about people how they got into doing YouTube. I mean,
obviously we talked a little bit. Your dad probably was a big influence on that, but
I actually started that channel. That was my firearms channel.
Are you
so
serious?
I wanted to be like FPS
Okay.
Russian. Like I wanted that, like Iraq vets. That's what I was doing with firearms. I had like, yeah, I saw that. That's what I wanted to do. So I went out and spent like 10 grand on guns, and
It's signed by him.
no
Oh,
way. I
that's
actually shot at
sick.
his range. I shot
Yeah.
there at his range.
That's
so
cool.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
he signed it for me. He was at the Harrisburg Gun Show.
jealous.
that is awesome.
You want to show it?
yeah.
It's Dusty, sorry.
Oh God! I
Smells
that
just like him. yeah.
I haven't watched it.
Yeah. Right. That's
haven't.
freaking sick.
Watched it since he touched it.
Right.
Well, I never wore it.
Right.
So did your channel evolve into Airsoft, or that's a different channel?
It's a totally separate channel. So that one started out Shooter 1721. So those are my paintball jerseys. I played competitive paintball. I
Okay.
played for Tremor and a bunch of other like factory teams and stuff like that. So those are my 2 jersey numbers. So it's just like Shooter 1721, and that evolved into Dad was in the backyard shooting air guns, and I'm like, man, he's doing something that no one else is really doing. There was like one other guy doing air gun videos at the time, so I just turned the camera to him, and all of a sudden that blew
Yeah.
up. So I was like, okay, we're gonna evolve, and I started Nighthawk Bros, and Nighthawk Bros was another YouTube channel that I did that on TikTok. That took off. I had 154,000 followers on
Wow.
TikTok, and then evolved into PewDiePie, which was a whole nother evolution. So I've just been in this whole social media thing. Like I've gone viral multiple times on other platforms.
That's
and stuff.
crazy.
What's the meaning behind PewDiePie?
Nothing. I literally had to.
his name's Ryan.
Yeah, it's my name.
It just
Ryan.
sounded good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
PewDiePie.
yeah. It was just
Okay.
kind of like I'm just running with this.
Right. Okay.
So
Well, Blind Sniper. I mean, what was?
Literally, it was my gamer tag on Xbox when all I did was play GTA 4 and 5. And I literally went into the game, I would get a sniper rifle, and I would sit on a building. And I always have, my old roommate and best friend will tell you, we'd be sitting at home, we had like this bachelor pad, we were roommates, and we just played Xbox. And I would always get like this crazy shot. I'd be like, Xbox, record that. But my gamer tag was just Blind Sniper, and it just,
At least it wasn't Grassy Knoll.
yeah.
Nico, you actually did. You weren't when you first started. You didn't even plan on doing YouTube and stuff, right? Like,
No.
you just kind of like after a while, like, I'll get into it. And like I said, your videos are definitely unique. You know, you have your own twist to them, but
Unico.
Unico.
Yeah,
That would
wow.
have been perfect.
Wow.
Why didn't you? You can still change it. That's
No,
perfect.
No, you
I'm
gotta-
about to say, I'm just gonna demolish my channel right now.
No, you can just plug that with the intro, or just anytime you
Yeah,
do something.
dude, we need to get you a Unico patch.
Unico videos.
Yes.
That's great. I like that one.
You know what's funny? My channel was Jax4603, which I used to tell everyone my stage name was Max Church because it was like your first pet in the street you grew up on. You know.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so it's like Max Church. I'm spelled with 2 X's. Well, me and my wife first started dating. We made a YouTube channel, and it was Jax, which was Jen and Max, and 4603 was when we started dating. And that's how it became a thing. So, like, I never thought it was going to turn into, like, something with, like,
Man.
airsoft. Like I said, when I first started doing videos, they're all taken down now because they're gun-related, but we used to have thousands and thousands of views because no one was doing airsoft videos.
Yeah.
And I'd have these kids come running over, oh, you're Jax. Like, I never called myself Jax, like, but they knew the name from YouTube.
Yeah, that's how I am. I never, like, I am Blind Sniper. Like, I'm Nate. My channel is Blind
Yeah.
Sniper. It's just, I don't know.
But it was crazy. So mine's a little bit more because mine wasn't started technically to be airsoft, and I don't know why I wasn't smart enough back then when we started the airsoft channel to like change the name. But I just kept rolling with my channel, and that's how we posted
Well,
the
yeah,
videos.
let
and
me
stuff.
ask, so did that turn into Jackal? Like, how did all that
No, it didn't. So like when I bought into Ambush Pro Shop, then he got rid of the guy who was running it, and I bought into it. I wanted to rebrand it because first off, I don't like the whole pro shop thing. Like I'm
It's
not
like Bass Pro Shops.
and not only that, it's definitely a paintball thing. Like it's
yeah.
the whole pro shop thing. So like that was one of the things I had to actually fight with Denny a little bit. Like I wanted to rename it, and like so what do I name it? So what am I into? And it's like okay, I'm trying to think of something cool like with Star Wars related that isn't like stealing Star Wars. And so like I'm sitting there the one night and I'm looking through animals. And I'm like, I couldn't think of anything, didn't like think anything. And I look over and I have this picture of Anubis.
Ah.
And I'm
Anubis,
like,
yeah.
well, I like Anubis. He's a Jackal.
That's
And
cool.
I'm like, that sounds good, Jackal Tactical.
Yep.
And then like the website,
Boom.
right away, I'm like, oh, the website will be jacktac.com.
Damn.
Like this is perfect. So So that's it. Honestly, that's how it was. It was like something I thought was cool, but I wasn't like a huge, big thing into Anubis or anything. It just popped up one day, and because I mean, I went through a ton of different things. Like I had all these different, pages and pages of like logos and stuff. And actually, the Jackal logo was a friend had a tattoo of Anubis.
Okay.
And I just took off the headdress and took off the neck piece. And then that was what was remained of the Jackal head
from the Anubis. I had this tattoo.
And yet,
I forgot I have this.
Hey, and Nico is actually one of 3 people who have either Otherworld or Jackal tattoos. So
yeah, what was it, Mason Laufey, the dude from New York?
Yeah, he got the Federation logo on his back.
He's looking to get it expanded too.
Wow.
Yeah, so I mean that's that's pretty awesome. But yeah, it's that whole Jackal thing was just kind of, and I did it like. The logo, I did it myself, but like I said, I literally took a design, removed a whole bunch of shit, and retraced it to my liking, and that's how the Jackal head became a thing.
Cool.
So, and I always have to tell people because no one can spell it. Like when you go to the bank or something, they're like searching for my account, and they're like, "Oh, nothing comes up." I was like, "Because you're spelling it Jackal the serial killer, not Jackal the animal. Spell it Jackal the animal." So, but yeah, that's how Jackal became a
Well, yeah,
thing.
Nico, did you start like uploading on Instagram or YouTube first, or?
I think it was YouTube initially, and then I kind of figured out that most people, when they go to fields, they'll look at your videos, but they won't follow them. They won't subscribe to your channel. So now I just kind of do Instagram. It's more personable. That way I can also tag people into it. And
I'd say that's the biggest problem that all you guys have. Is you'll get these viewers, but they need to follow you guys. They need to actually follow and ring the bells or whatever they got to do.
I hate like any YouTube video for anything. I just hate the same thing where it's like, hey guys, please like and subscribe. It's just so, I don't know. It's just so.
Same.
I don't like asking.
That's gonna be the beginning of this video.
Like and subscribe.
It's like if you like it, cool. If you don't, give a thumbs down. I don't give a shit. Like if you at least clicked on it, like that's good enough for me.
Yeah.
Do you guys? I mean, all 3. I mean, I know Ductape doesn't, but all 3 of you guys. Do you actually view, like, check the analytics and check the viewership?
Nope.
Is that something you look at often? Like,
I don't know shit about it.
My Instagram account hit 1,500 accounts last month for November, and
that'd be awesome. They were all subscribers.
I got like 30 subscribers out of it.
Yeah.
So I mean, most of them is like when I'm going to ambush and people see me taking pictures and videos, and they're like, "Do you upload anywhere?" And I'm stupid and I don't have a QR code for them to scan half the time, but most of the time I'll just tell them like, look, I'm either posting this to the Jack Tech Facebook private group, I'll do it to my Instagram or my YouTube. I mean, it's probably some of the easiest place to find. I try to funnel people to the Instagram because I'm hoping by next year I hit 1,000 followers. Awesome. That's the goal.
We'll try to get you. We'll help try to get you there however we can. But
most of it's just bringing like something quick for them to scan while they're right.
It's funny you said QR code. I used to say QRF code, and my wife still makes fun of me all the time when someone says QR. You mean the QRF code, Paul? She still makes fun of me
funny.
every time we're saying it.
I just have Instagram right now. I'm still thinking about starting a YouTube channel just to post out there like, hey, look, here's some airsoft videos.
Well, you guys obviously like doing it for just doing it. That's why I asked. I didn't know how much it meant to you guys actually getting the views and the followers. I mean, like I said, I know it helps, but I didn't know how much you actually followed that and kept track of that. I mean, I think you do pretty well, Ryan.
For the most part. I mean...
Because you do this, I mean, part of your job, too, you help companies build these social media accounts and stuff, too. So I'm sure that means a lot more to you than it might to some other people.
Yeah. But it's more like a job for me, so it's just kind of like it's second nature to like running a YouTube channel. It's just kind of like you can quick peek it and kind of know it's like, all right, that didn't work, this didn't work, and just adjust fire and start changing.
But I like your shots when you do your like gun reviews and whatever. The really like focused in like nice crisp lighting you do. I don't really ever see people do it. They're just like, hey, I have a camera hanging here. Here's a bright white light. Like, I'm just going to unbox this, and there's not going to be anything like special.
As stupid as it sounds, some of the videos that pull my attention more are the ones like YouTube where you're just like holding it there randomly with whatever the background is, videotaping it. But all the information is there. It doesn't need this proper setup with this proper background.
Those videos get mad views.
Well, those shorts are crazy views sometimes.
Like I was saying earlier, I'm sure all you guys know, you'll put hours of time and you'll be so excited to make this video and it gets shit views, and then you put in no effort for a shit video and it gets thousands of views.
Our Christmas videos, whenever we did that with the shorts, we're getting like so many views compared to anything else. We spent countless hours making a Wishwell movie. I mean, Greg edited for a bazillion hours. I came over here. We filmed for an entire day with having all these people come and be a part of it. and it gets no views. And then we do a picture of Greg as Santa Claus, and everyone and their mother is watching the picture, the video of Greg as Santa Claus. But speaking of, I do want to mention someone who was involved in the Wishwell video. Please watch it if you haven't. Passed away recently, Jeremy Apple, which was kind of crazy. I didn't know anything about it, so I saw it on Facebook, and I called Denny, and he told me about it. And he was actually someone who wasn't even supposed to be in the video, just happened to be in ambush that day. He's like, I'll go get my butcher shirt, and I'll be in the video as a zombie.
Nice.
And
I remember him.
the big guy with the dog, yep. Yeah, he passed away.
Oh, man.
Some heart problems last week, I think it was.
Yep.
Last week,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. And he was young. He was only 38.
Yeah,
That was
he's
about
yeah,
38.
around too.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's, rest in peace, Jeremy, and appreciate you being a part of that Wishwell video. At least we'll have that forever. So
Yeah, facts.
yeah, I think he gets kicked in the face in the video or something. So
I think Rachel kicks him in the face.
Is that when he's like through a window?
he's in the window. I know he's walking around. You see him walk around a couple times. He gets like knocked over. And he's like sitting on some tires. So yeah, we'll have to look back and see what other footage we didn't use in the video of him. And if we do that director's cut we keep talking about doing, we'll have to
That'd be fun.
add him in more. So, but yeah. Well, let's just want to bring up each of the events we did last year, and I know not everyone was at every event, but just talk about it a little bit. And we are every event we did last year we're doing again this year. So, even though this is the time of the year where it's like, Paul, stop doing these events. I'm worn out from them, but like the people who come mean a lot to me, and I wouldn't want to let them down. So, but we'll talk first about Apocalypse last year. For those who were at Apocalypse, we did something different last year at Apocalypse, or this year, still 2024. We rented the entire facility, and we did the upper fields, which I call the north fields. It's not really north, but that's what I call them. And a lot of people were excited for that because every time we played before at Apocalypse, you'd play on the bottom fields, and then when the place would close, skirmish would close for operations for the day, we move up to the top fields. But everyone was only getting an hour in the daylight.
Right.
Up on those top fields, and those of you that don't have the thermals and the night vision and stuff like that couldn't really enjoy it. So we did rent the upper field, and that was a hit last year. We're still debating if we're going to do that this year, and we're also going to try to once again for like the fourth straight year have platinum helicopters there for the helicopter again.
Oh yeah,
I had
it was that Apocalypse.
What's funny is I had talk about these haters and people that say stupid shit, but like. Person was like, that's the dumbest thing ever, you having that little personal helicopter there at the events. I'm like, I don't know, there's people there's people that every single year pay whatever it costs. Hell, Jinja the one year paid to do it twice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because he was like, he did it the first time. He's like, I need 15 more minutes. Like, paid to do it again. And
this year was my second Apocalypse, I believe. And this was my first time doing the helicopter run. It was my first time riding in a helicopter, too. And that was absolutely insane. Thank you for allowing me to do that.
What was funny is the first Apocalypse we tried to do it, they tried to come out, and we had this unbelievable amount of rain that was not in the forecast. Mm-hmm. They ended up having almost 6 inches of rain, I think it was, during the first Apocalypse we did at Skirmish. And it was unbelievable. It was like record rain. It rained from the time we set up to the time we cleaned up. And as soon as I left the parking lot, the sun came out. But it rained and rained and rained and rained. They got stranded an hour north of us in a field for a day.
Wow.
The helicopter day. So they couldn't make it. They tried to come to the event. Because like I said, the forecast was not calling for the weather to be like this. Wow. And it was. And then during COVID, they couldn't come either because the pilot actually got COVID when COVID first started. Right. So like it was a lot to try to get this helicopter here, but we kept pushing it and we got it to happen. And those of you who complain to me about helicopter prices, I don't make anything on a helicopter. I charge you guys what they charge me, and that's how we do it. So
it's only $100 for 10 minutes. Like, you can't beat that, and you get to shoot kids with a yes. Why would you not? For your first experience out of a helicopter.
See, oh my God! I'm a aviation nerd too. It's a Robinson R-44 helicopter they use, and it's great. But I'm like, man, I wish it was an MD-500. That'd be so much more fun.
Well, he actually the Evan from Platinum Helicopters. What he actually does for like a normal job is he transports organs from hospitals and stuff. So that's what he flies. That same helicopter we're using for the event, he's using to transport organs and stuff.
Sounds
For,
like a good way to pay for the helicopter.
heck, yeah, I'm sure that's not cheap to like, hey, I need this heart from here to here in the snap of a finger.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, they've been great. We have met so many awesome companies throughout the years that I have good relationships with that support us and share our stuff, and we do the same for them. And like I said, that's one of the unique things with that's what we leave for Apocalypse. We're going to always try to have the helicopter. Like I said, we don't know if we'll do the South Field or the North Field or how we'll do it, but Apocalypse is always a good game for us. It's always everyone's first game of the year because no one's doing events usually that time of the year.
Right.
Unfortunately, we deal with it either being or deal with the chance of it being freezing cold. So
A little bit of snow.
Oh my God! Last year we had we camped out in the parking lot. We had parked both cars on both sides of our community tent, tie it off on both sides, and it still wasn't good enough. So one of our guys, he passed out, earlier than anybody else. Still had his shoes on, mind you. He was in the corner, and we started stacking cans on him. And the entire time we just called him our paperweight. Like it was amazing because if it wasn't for him, that whole tent would have been going. We had a battle box, and the other buddy was kicking.
was it windy was it windy at that
God,
game?
yeah.
I don't remember.
Just during the night, like we had to the point where we were going to cook outside, but we didn't. We brought our grill inside. We were cooking bacon with a dye mask on. Oh my God, dude! I have a picture of it somewhere on my Instagram. It's funny.
But like I said, as much as that sucks, you'll never forget that.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
You'll never forget that. We went to a apocalyptic game the one time in Virginia, and no, actually, it's when it moved. It was at Zulu 24. It was ran by a company, and we went there for this zombie apocalyptic game, and everyone. It was supposed to be like 50 degrees, and everyone laughed because I brought a buddy heater from my tent. The other tent next to us, they brought a sheet to lay on and a blanket for two guys to share. Well, the second night, everyone in every tent got in our tent and slept in our tent with us. So all of our air mattresses were deflated, and there was all this nasty sweat on the sides. But we had that buddy heater, kept us, it protected us. But
Sweaty
that was
virgins.
I don't camp anymore. I don't camp anymore. I'm done camping forever. No more rain and snow and wetness, and I'm not doing it.
I remember I camped out for Downfall 7, I think it was. Like that was my first Milsim. Camped out, just the full event. It was so much fun. Camping out, having fun afterwards, and then waking up the next morning, go play more airsoft with everybody. It was great.
Yeah. Yeah, Apocalypse, like I said, it's a fun game. We started the Apocalypse series. It was actually started at Ambush. The first one I ever did was we raised money for my sister at the time who had stage 4 lymphoma. And she's okay now. She's great. She beat it. But that's when we did the first one. So the first 3, we did 4 Apocalypse games at Ambush, but we only went to 3 because when we did 2, we also did 2.5. So the first 4 were at Ambush, and then all the rest since 4. So the next 5 then were at Skirmish.
Yeah, so every year, I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this question, but every year now, as of now, Apocalypse is always at Skirmish.
Yeah.
And then, which are the ones that are at EMR?
Downfall and Night Sky. So yeah, we can actually talk about Downfall next. Downfall is like the only game where I would consider more of our like airsoft game, and I probably wouldn't put the Milsim title on it.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, because I know there's a lot of things for Milsim rules differ too, depending on the event, in terms of like reloading and what you can carry on you. And for the most part, all your events, you can't reload on the field, but you can carry mags. And the one you're referring to, that's where it's a little more lenient.
Yeah, at Downfall, we allow 12 and older at that game instead of 16 or older at most of our other games. We even allow younger than that. If you're running with your guardian, like your dad's there, and you're playing with your dad, we allow that at Downfall. We allow high cap mags and box mags on every gun. We allow that. It's more of a big force-on-force game than it is a squad-based game. And we have our control point flag system that we do differently than other games. And it's also the only game I do that's not a straight-through game. We usually do 8 hours on Saturday, 4 hours on Sunday, but then we have a party Saturday night. Like this past Downfall, we had As If, the band there. They performed for 3 hours.
That was wild.
That was the
and
best. And it rained too, and we were all standing in the rain.
We didn't care. We were all having the best time of our lives. Having pizza, having some drinks, listening to music.
Yeah.
It was, oh my gosh.
It was a lot of fun, and we usually do it we have a shooting competition. We bring our gun power target system out for that event at the end, and Its downfall is just a little bit more laid back.
Yeah.
It's actually, as far as producing a game, it's my easiest game to do because the point scoring is simple, the props are simple. It's just fun. But there's a lot of people that only that can't come to every event anymore, but they make sure that they come to Downfall.
That's cool.
For sure. Like that's their game.
To me, Downfall is like the introduction to Milsim.
Yeah,
It's like if you want to go to a Milsim, that's not like
it's like a chill sim.
Chill sim. Yes, exactly. Chill
Like
sim.
it.
But it's so like I started EMR wanted nothing to do with airsoft, nothing at all. Blue, the owner of EMR, when I went there, I went to their facility and I vended a paintball event, and it was a big flop for them. Unfortunately, they expected hundreds of people and they had like 40 people there, and I went and vended and I didn't have a single sale, and I donated like a $200 air tank to the raffle. And, I afterwards, Blue felt bad about it. I'm like, hey, man, it is what it is, And we were eating together, and we were talking. I said, man, you should let me do an airsoft game here. And he's like, nah. He's like, we don't want we're a paintball field. We don't like airsoft. We don't want anything to do with airsoft.
But why?
They just didn't.
It's a stigma.
Skirmish was the same way. And I was like, okay, whatever. And then we were talking for a little while, and he's like, well, let me, do you have a YouTube channel or something? And I said, yeah, I do. I said, here's my team's channel, Deathwatch Milsim. And he called me the next day. He said, this game Apocalypse on here that you're doing this video, and I'm watching all these mission stuff. He's like, who ran that game? I said, I did. And he's like, well, I think I want to hire you to come do 2 events here a year and let you do airsoft.
Nice.
And that was actually the start of Otherworld. That's when I rebranded, just doing it under my team's name, to actually making a company out of it and creating Otherworld.
Yeah, so how did that originate, like that, but like the name?
So, a buddy of mine, Andy Pete, he passed away a couple years ago. I played Dungeons & Dragons with him for like 30-some years. He was probably one of the greatest people I ever met. Like, he was a good dude. He called his company like Otherworld, and it's something that was like in my head for years. Like, I've heard the name Otherworld and stuff like that. And then when I started Otherworld, I had 3 business partners, and we were going over names, and the one guy said, let's do Outworld. And I was like, well, I don't want to like cheese Mortal Kombat,
Yeah.
So like, how about Otherworld? And because that name stuck in my head for years, and I actually didn't realize till after we went with Otherworld that it was a name that my buddy was using, because we kind of fell out there for a little while and stuff like that. But that's kind of how Otherworld, the thing, became a name. And I wanted to be more unique. I didn't just want to be like Milsim, North, East, South, West, Central.
Yeah.
Like I just didn't want to do that.
Central PA Milsim.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do that. And then like, I wanted the logo to be as basic and simple. Just, I want an Earth that's red and black. And like, that was something I pushed for. And then all my, the partners thing didn't work out because people don't invest as much into things as I do. And it's hard to be partners with people that can't do that. So by the end of before the first event, 2 people were removed from the company. And then by the end of the first event I did, I bought out the third person. I gave them a chance to get out of the company. These people didn't realize it takes time to make money.
Yep.
And that's everyone wanted money right away, and unfortunately, that's not how it goes. But it worked. I mean, it's the same with Ambo. With our Jackal. When I started Jackal, me and Denny were both partners, and Denny wanted the company to make all this money the first year, and instead I took a $500 inventory and turned it into a $40,000 inventory the first year. And Denny didn't like, why I ain't getting any money? Well, that's why you didn't get any money, because I put it all back into the business.
Got to spend money to make money.
And people, and like it is. I'm still friends with like the people that were involved, and I'm still close with Denny. It just didn't work out, and it's better off that I'm just have sole control, because like I said, a lot of people just don't have that work ethic when it comes to stuff like that, like I do. It wasn't fair. It wasn't fair to sit there and like, we're doing this company. I'm handling selling the tickets. I'm handling getting the people there. I'm handling the social media. I'm handling all the logistics. And then the event comes, and all you're handling is your handout for money from the event. And that's where it became a problem with me. And we kind of, moved on. But like I said, it worked out. I mean, I didn't think Otherworld would still be here. This will be the 10th anniversary of Otherworld this year. So I've been hosting games for 15 years as of this year. but Otherworld will be 10 years.
Yeah, I always wonder, like, back when I started, I always say, like, I played Airsoft as a kid, and then you went through the phase where, like, you stopped playing. And as a kid, I mean, like, with the kids in the neighborhood, shitty guns, like, hopper fed. And then you, like, kind of go to school, live life, and then I started playing again as an adult, where I have, like, a full-time job, and I can dump thousands of money that I shouldn't into my toy gun.
Same here.
But then I always wonder, like, back when I first started going to ambush, like, if I ever, like, got shot by you guys, or if we ever, like, crossed paths and we didn't actually know it. Because, like, back before I even started recording or anything, like, we were probably all actually there, like, at ambush, but...
I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, when I first, like, people, like, thought you were a dick, honestly.
Me?
Yeah.
Why?
People were like, "Oh, that you know, that blind sniper guy, he's like a dick," and I'm like, "Well, I don't know the guy." You know, that was like towards when I remember that towards like the end of like we're playing or whatever, and I think people just couldn't handle the fact that you were just annihilating them from on the field. Honestly,
I mean, honestly, a lot.
Corey always was like a big fan of yours. Like Corey,
Corey is one of the original guys I met, and he's like a wizard. Like a VSR is not a hard platform to work on, and like I don't even like calling myself a tech, but like Corey. We talked about sniper stuff, and he's like I said, a wizard. He's like one of the best airsoft techs I know. Like before I even knew about like him, but I don't think he wasn't working at Jackal. Like how long has he been with you?
He's been full time with me for almost 2 years.
Yeah,
but he's worked for me almost since the Lebanon store started. Like maybe 6 months after I started, so probably about 3.5 years.
Yeah, because I remember when I don't even know if I was recording yet, or it might have been when I just started recording, and I did a lot of my earlier videos at Ambush, and I remember meeting Corey because he had an SSG-24, and we were like either on the same team or always like sniping each other, but like a lot of my older videos, nothing I make today is like super high-end production, but a lot of my older stuff is like super cringe. Like I wouldn't even go watch it. But I don't think I like went on like trying to like start drama or like be a dick or anything.
You know, people. I mean, my team, people hated, and everyone called us cheaters and stuff. And I'm like, show me in these videos where we're cheating, and I would like show me because I don't believe it. Because we had people on our team that we removed from our team if we would catch them cheating. Mm-hmm. So like, no one on our team was cheating. People used to. I mean, it was like. I mean, we used to have a huge feud. It was Bad Influence versus Death Watch. You know, we used to hate each other, and you know, not the guys now. The guys on Bad Influence now are different, and I'd do anything for those guys. But yeah, and when you say about the teching, you know, one thing I want to put out there, whether people watch this video or not, is like you only hear when there's a great tech out there, you only sometimes hear of like the guns that didn't work out or the guns that have problems. You know, for instance, like. Blaze's gun is MP. He has this MP5 and he has an MP5 HPA that every time we bring it into the shop, it shoots fine. And as soon as he takes it, it won't shoot. And like Corey, and the thing is like people can be like, oh, you know, Corey can't do the gun, blah 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 blah, make up all these excuses. But Corey also doesn't have to do the gun.
Yeah.
And we've free teched that gun now, probably at losing our asses on that gun to try to make that gun perfect for Blaze.
We think the issue was the regulator that he was using with it, so he's
bringing it in to check it. But like you hear about the guns that have problems, and I don't care how great of a tech you are, a gun can always it's airsoft. You could have a $10,000 gun that could stop working tomorrow.
Yep.
They could be the
high kappas. You could put $1,000 into a high cap and one little part breaks, and you know. But you want to blame the techs right away for doing this, you know. But you haven't seen the countless guns Corey has. Not only like he made what's that AK thing he made right now? He made for that guy that wants it for a prop.
Oh yeah,
because you can't buy one in airsoft.
No, he had to buy a real steel AK shorty foregrip. I don't remember the actual name. I'm not an AK guy.
Yeah, so he completely took this gun.
It's like the hand size, and it's got like the
the dong,
the 74U.
Yeah, no, it's not the dong.
It's not a Groza, is it?
It might be.
A Groza's like a bullpup AK.
It's
like
how
how
it's
it
not
comes out.
bullpup.
Okay.
It's pistol size.
Yeah, it's just the guy wanted it to mimic something, I think, from a game or a movie, but you couldn't buy it.
You're getting into custom stuff, man. It's never going to work out perfectly initially.
But guess what? But it does, people don't hear about it.
Yep.
Like these people aren't like this guy spent $1,000 to have Corey custom built this gun, not even caring if it worked for airsoft, but Corey was able to make pieces, and we were able to find real steel pieces and customize it to work for this gun, and the guy is super happy about it. And it's like, but you only hear about these people, like you have these other like people at airsoft where they'll be like shit on it, like, yeah, you say Corey's good, Corey sucks. Well, that's bullshit, because for every 500 guns he does amazingly, there might be one lemon or something out there. but we don't shun you away. We always will continue to look, and sometimes we lose our asses on certain guns.
I just don't like anything. Like even I used to work on cars too, and well, that's kind of off topic, but there would be like a customer that would like maybe shit on the dealership or whatever, but it's like you never came back to say like, hey, this is wrong. Like you just go out and you shit on someone. Yeah. Like if something doesn't work, did you take it back? Like I'm sure they would look at it for free.
And if not,
you wouldn't believe the amount of people though that'll shit on work from like if Corey installs a MOSFET or an HPA engine, but they completely fuck the settings.
Yeah.
And they'll blame us. They'll be like, oh, I got this gun built at Jackal. And he brings it in. Corey's like, you adjust those settings. No, I didn't. Yes, Corey's like, I know what I put the settings on. You changed all the settings, and they'll right away want to blame us for it or whatever. But like I said, it's far and few between. Corey has literally probably in this past year worked on probably 700-800 guns. Like our guns are nonstop. We'll take 5 in the time it takes Corey to fix 3.
Yeah.
Like the gun thing is never going to go away, especially when we're one of the companies that does it and does it right.
Yeah.
You know, 'cause that's another thing. You have these companies that want to trash us and stuff like that. And I'm not talking about local ones, even from all over. They're like, oh, Jackal fucked this up. Do you know how many guns we get from other companies that fix that are messed up? Not only that, what's the big time company from down south that I guess I shouldn't say their names anyway, but anyway, they're a big time company that makes these custom guns. Do you know how many times we've had to fix their $1,000 guns? Fix their $1,000. They charge the company charge the customer $1,000 to build a gun that we could have put the same parts in and built for $400.
Yeah.
And then we have to fix it. And there's a lot of companies that build HPA guns. We are fixing their crap nonstop. In fact, we had a local company last Christmas. A customer bought a gun from another airsoft company, and it was for a Christmas present. Kid opened it. It doesn't work. This parent is flipping out. The company, obviously it's Christmas. They can't do anything. Guy was figured out, said, you know what? Bring it in. This was Christmas. The day after Christmas, had Corey come. The problem was they never even attached one of the wires for the fusion engine, or they reversed the wires.
Yeah.
Corey fixed it in a second. This guy went on and gave them a horrible review because they're like, we shouldn't have had to take it to Jackal Tactical to fix your problem, and now we're going to be taking all of our business to them. But like I said, you don't hear about that stuff.
Yeah.
The only things people you hear about are that 1 or 2 customers a year that had an experience where it's sometimes shit's a lemon. Like we've installed MOSFETs that the MOSFET was a lemon, you know, or the piston was a lemon, or the gears or whatever.
I did a build for a guy. He was posted on one of the forums on Facebook. He was local. I was like, yeah, I'll build an HPA gun for you. And I put it all together, and I gave him the build list of what to buy, because it's what I know works and everything. And he got, it was a red line regulator. Put it all together, regulator just skyrocketed.
Yep.
Right out of the box. And I was like, I'll use my stuff to dial it in, but you're going to have to get another regulator so I can get yours actually tuned to what the FPS and everything that he wanted.
Well, I mean, even the MP7 there on the counter, Ryan's gun that Corey built. So, like, companies build these, like, 3D printed gearbox and stuff. That's not what we do. Corey spent the time and CNC machined that entire gearbox and the HPA engine to fit that gun, so we don't have any 3D printed gearbox melting in the sun problems or anything like that. So, like, he spends the extra time to do things that a lot of other people wouldn't do.
Let's see, you guys just bought an entire new milling machine for that specific.
We bought the milling machine for specifically milling out gearboxes for HPA engines, like the GAT. Most people won't touch the GAT offset nozzle. We mill it out and make the engine fit. Like, these are things we're willing to do, and people have to understand with HPA. Sometimes there's some trial and error, but we'll keep messing with it and we'll get it right. Same with Greg with the high kappa builds. All these different parts from all these different companies. You're expecting all these different brand parts. I'm sure you deal with it with the sniper rifle stuff too. They come in and it's like you put the slide on this lower and it doesn't move at all. And they're both for a high kappa.
Yeah, see, that was me.
Know?
This gun on the table here is like my only spring powered VSR 10. Yeah, and I've essentially been building this same one since I got into airsoft sniping, just trying to like perfect it, and it's finally like done. but so many different name brand parts, and initially I'm guilty of just trying to buy all of the expensive parts, and you put it together and it shoots like trash.
Yeah, it still doesn't mean that if you buy all the expensive parts, they work well together.
Yeah.
And like Greg, I mean, I remember there was one, I forget which high cap it was, but Greg was getting so frustrated. He's sanding and sanding and sanding, and it's still not sliding, and sanding and sanding.
I did an F2 in an Arcturus AK-04 for myself, and I didn't realize before going into what it would take to do a build, and I looked at the gearbox, and there's a section about this big that I just had to completely mill down to get the trigger board in. So I'm sitting there with a Dremel for about 4 hours, just bit by bit till the battery dies.
That's why we got the milling machine, because
it would have been nice
that's how it was for us.
That when I did that.
Well, we used to anytime. So that's the thing. Anytime we had a build like that, because you're like, we charge these people an hourly rate. 99% of the time, you are not paying for that hourly rate. Like if a gun takes Corey 3 hours, we'll eat an hour most of the time.
Right, yeah.
Especially for like our good customers and stuff like that. But that's how it was. We would feel guilty sitting there with a Dremel for hours, and we're not going to charge a customer 4 hours of tech work for an HPA build. So we would just eat hours of tech time to get it right. And that's why the milling machine has saved a lot of time. But
It's fun to utilize.
It'd be nice to know you guys had that when I was doing my build.
Yeah,
you guys
use
build
it.
this for me?
We spent a lot of money on that thing. It needs to get used. Come use it. We have all the diamond bits for it and everything.
Yeah.
Come use it.
Yeah, let me tell you, I know all about a Dremel.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Of all the custom VSR 10s I've built, if it's anything like different from a gun out of the box, I have used a Dremel, a cutting wheel, or a grinder wheel to make some part for it. I don't have a 3D printer. I feel like I've Dremeled so much shit that at this point, I'm too far in to even buy a 3D printer now, because I could have done so much nicer shit. But this gun I tried, the goal was to like not Dremel it together. And it finally, like, this year, most of your events was like the trial run for this thing, and it's finally where I want it, where it shoots nice, and I don't have to mess with it anymore.
Well, I know you were going hand with all that Airsoft Marshall stuff too, right?
Yeah, that has one of his original one-piece uppers. So the receiver and barrel are one piece, and that's so huge for a spring gun, because the nozzle will go into the hop-up chamber and bucking at like the same place every time, and it really helps with consistency for like a bolt action.
That's cool.
Nice.
Yeah, we have all these companies that have made parts and stuff like that, and high kappa parts, and they send us samples and they want us to do stuff, and like I have to just explain to them all the time when they reach back out. It's like, we just don't get to the point where we have the time to work on our own stuff, to build our own stuff. Like it's always, when Greg's in there's always pistols to do. When Corey's in there's always rifles to do, and it's just we don't get the time to, like, we want to like use Airsoft. We have a bunch of stuff, and we want to build a gun and sell it, but we just don't have the time.
I had the parts for that one for almost 6 months before I had the time to build it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like we just don't have the time. But.
So that high kappa pistol there, the one we were passing around, how much money, like how much is into this thing right here?
Probably about $1,600.
$1,600. That's wild. It looks like it. Looks like
that's a complete scratch build.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and it's
Actually,
kids with toy guns.
Yeah.
Oh my god, the pistol kumite?
Yeah, pistol kumite.
Oh my god.
That's a fun thing. We wanted to do it more this year, but we just got consumed. It's just...
Dude, if we even do it once a year, that'd be fun. That'd be fine with me. Oh my.
It's a lot of fun too, because a lot of people come to and compete without having super built pistols or anything like that.
I used a basic AAP that I busted 2 of them that day.
And what is
Mo bought that Cthulhu, and the first day he used it, busted it.
Yeah.
And how does that work? It's are things set up at certain distances and people get eliminated, or?
We play it like a speed... Well, we use a skirmish system.
Okay.
And we set them up... The closest point to your starting... We do the speedball field, so the closest skirmish box is worth 1 point. Then the next stage of skirmish boxes are worth 2 points. Then there's one in the middle worth 3 points. So they're playing a timed match. Kills are worth so many points, but if no one dies, and it goes off the box points.
Is it like 1 life, or do you respawn?
1 life.
Nice.
So then we do... What we do is we take every round, then with the team's points... We do so many rounds, like maybe we'll do 10 round robins where you play each team once or maybe play each team twice, and we go at the total scores, and the top 4 teams' highest scores, we put them in a playoff.
Oh,
and they'll play till there's one team left. And we usually get medals made for it, and stuff like that and treat it that way. You know, the biggest side to it is we do have a lot of like this person's not calling their hits and stuff like that. But Nico's been throwing up a ton of cameras and stuff, so like we can, if they come to especially the Kumite, if you come to that event and you're cheating and we catch you, you will never come back to another one. Like you just won't. Like we don't. And we do. Nico had 3D cameras or 360 cameras up, and
that was really cool.
We
I
could
like that footage.
Oh, the footage, the combination of that and the drone footage and stuff was so awesome watching the Kumite event. So
what I'm gonna try to do next year is for the field, I'm gonna have 3 360 cameras once I get the other one repaired. I'm gonna have 2 the X3s on both sides and the Galaxy one that you gave me right there in the middle, right where the objective is, just high enough to where people aren't like taking crazy wild pot shots at them, but like. I think that'll be way more intricate, being able to see different angles. People are running and diving and jumping. It was a really good time. I love that event.
Yeah, no, it's fun. Like I said, we did it twice this year. You know, it's one of those things where it's like we don't want to like put a schedule up for it because then we're like
committed.
We have to be committed to it then, and it's just not
priority.
I like the pop-up nature of it too.
Yeah,
that was kind of cool.
So like we do like, you know, other than the 5 events. I'm hosting 7 this year with the Kumites. Like we do a lot of other things too. Like we're vending at certain events. We go all the way down to the Folded Gap game in North Carolina. We were at Victor. What's that?
I was going to say Ashram.
Yeah, we went to the Ashram, which is if you never checked out that field, go ahead. It's a free field to play on. It's not big, but Victor Woods there and his father, they run free events there. And we will always support their free events. We went there to vend an event, and you know it was more about meeting people. They don't have a lot there, so we were able to give some Jackal love. But we do Bad Blood, and we go to a bunch of different events. The Outdoor Extreme events.
I mean, Bad Flood.
It was bad.
Bad Flood.
Yeah, Bad Flood. But you know, we do a lot of stuff, and we also do like gun shows and sportsman shows and stuff. Like we have the Great Outdoor Show coming up in February. That's nine straight days of the event, but it's 13 straight days for us with setup and tear down and stuff like that. So.
I like the swap meet. I want to go to one of those because I have a bunch of stuff that I could actually have a display to try and make a few bucks or trade.
Well, you know what's funny is like, so like when we did the swap meet, which that was all Ryan.
No, that was the 2 of us.
He got that all set up and stuff. But what was funny about that swap meet? So I didn't set up in the store. I set up outside the store, bought different stuff, and we had a lot of like they had orange tags on them, and it was stuff that like I would get from like mystery boxes from Evic or like bundles from another company or whatever. So, and I literally was there like anything with orange tag, you just make a legitimate offer and it's yours. But I was like, I'm not going to go around and buy anything from anybody until the end, and I'll let them come to me. Well, at the end, everyone got around. So I mean, I probably came home with like 300 mags. I spent well more than I made at the event, but it was all stuff we resold, and you know, but gear and mags, like more so than guns. The mags and the gear, the pouches and stuff, we sell that stuff so fast. You know, but I went home with like 6 totes of stuff from that swap meet.
I just think that's such a cool community thing, like a swap meet, because
and we had people that came to Ambush that never were there before because of that swap meet.
Yeah, I need to get out there. I have a bunch of stuff that's just older stuff that I don't use anymore, just different renditions, just parts.
If you have that, you know, $50-$60 gun M4 you want to get rid of, there's going to be a new player there that will change his life.
Yep.
That $50-$60 gun will change his life. But yeah, that was something awesome. It was Ryan came up with it, and I quickly. That's actually how I actually got into talks with Ryan when we made this, you know, partnership up with helping out each other and stuff. Was because of that swap meet.
Yeah, that's sponsored by Spec and Arms too, didn't you?
Yeah, I got Spec and the spot.
Unfortunately, that won't happen anymore. But
sadly,
Specna has now sold their souls to the devil exclusively through Evic. So
for real.
But yeah, it's the swap meet was fun. I told Denny that next year I was like I would like to, if we could do 2 would be good. Do one at the beginning of the season and do one at the end of the season.
Honestly, yeah. Even for like if you didn't play the night game, I just sat around, chilled, took pictures with people, hung out.
I said you should do it the first night game of the year, which will be in April or May.
Perfect.
And then do the last one of the year in October.
It's a really good idea.
Do 2.
Really
it's that way the people can come and still be there for that night game.
Yep.
And stuff like that. But now that was a unique thing. That was fun. But like I said, we do. When people are always like, "Oh, why don't you do more events?" Like, dude, we're doing stuff all the time.
Yeah.
So
Like,
much.
it isn't like we're like just I'm sitting at home chilling for 2 months. That's not.
Yeah, you got to join the Facebook group so you can follow.
Yeah, join the
Yeah,
Facebook
we're-
group.
see what's going on.
And we do. The Facebook group is so fun because all of our normal players are all in there, and I love it. Everyone's like, when we do these raffles and free giveaways, I love seeing the people we know win this stuff because these are people that actually I know support us.
Yep.
You know, so it's that's why I'm not for like the do it on Instagram to get more followers anymore, and we'll do these giveaways where someone's winning in Texas. Like I want the local people that are in our group page to want them to win the stuff. You know.
Yeah.
So
I recently just had, we have now 4 or 5 of our guys now recording videos for every time we go into Milsims or walk-ons or whatever. Trying to next year somehow incorporate all those videos into one, like, monthly, like, highlight, you know what I mean?
yeah, that'd be cool. I know you said because it's a lot to do a video every week.
lot.
Dude, the
work.
360 alone, that takes up so much time just to
sure.
reframe everything.
I'm
yeah,
sure.
Trying to do that for 3 of them.
Sure.
I pretty much record every time I play, and mine are just basic gameplay videos, and I have so much footage that I could like probably not play for 6 months and do
still-
like a
and
regular
Still have
video.
people would think you're still playing all the time.
Yeah,
'cause-
yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
yeah. That's what I get it. Like I said, we used to record a lot, but so we talked about Apocalypse. We talked about Downfall a little bit. You know, Downfall, like I said, was fun having the band there. We did it on May the 4th.
As if,
With-
baby.
yeah.
They're so good. I
Yeah,
love
they're
them.
coming back this year again. And you know, it's also going to be on a Star Wars weekend again. May the 4th on a Sunday this year, so I'll probably incorporate that into the patches a little bit again. But yeah, and then we had Night Sky, which is always a hit game for us, and it's once again it's one of those things where it's like it's not a ton of people, but we would cap it at 200 anyway, so we don't need a ton of people. I think we had like 170 or 180 this past year, but that was the game where I first to the new players incorporated like a 12-hour straight game. And once again, everyone's like, that Milsim style stuff's never going to work at EMR. It's never going to work at EMR. Well, here we are. It'll be Night Sky 9 this year. And so we did that for 9 straight years. And it's a lot of fun for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Skirmish stuff, we'll be using Skirmish again this year. We used it last year there. It was actually, Skirmish said it was the biggest they ever had use it. Well, now, then Code Orange was.
Yeah, baby.
We went crazy with the Skirmish boxes of Code Orange.
We just need to like somehow like make them warm for the
Well, so yeah, or just not do games in
at the cold.
March and November. but
30
but yeah, we're gonna change all the box as we need to. We're gonna replace all the nickel batteries to lithium ion to 6,000 milliamp lithium ion batteries, which should help a little bit with the cold. So
That'd be nice.
Yeah, they're such a game changer
Corey-
for objectives.
Corey walked, I think we keep going back to Code Orange, but Corey walked at that game out. I forget what it was. It was something like ridiculous. It was like
23 miles.
Yeah.
I thought it was like 30 some miles at that game.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
from him having to keep going and changing the batteries of the boxes and
Getting his steps in.
Dude, he
stuff
even
like
helped
that.
carry a ladder to get the drone.
That's
Like
right.
he didn't even
Yeah.
care. He's a machine.
I think the worst though was that you know, we'll talk about Night Sky a little bit, we'll go on and talk about Draco. Like we were there 2 days before the event. So we set up, it was me, Corey, my wife, and my kids were there like 2 days before.
This is Draco?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're setting up there. Corey's first day is like 20 some miles. Then we go to the next day. We go to Friday when people start arriving, and then we're preparing for the Eclipse mission for Draco. Corey walked in there like 20 some miles that day. Then the next day at the game, Corey walked like 30 some miles for the day of the game. Then the next day cleaning up, Corey walked in there like 10 miles.
Wow.
Like, that dude put in like he could have walked through an entire state.
Yeah.
The amount of miles he walked at that game.
Walk through one pair of shoes per event.
But you know,
Across New
it's
Jersey.
you know, like I said, that's one thing I just want people to like. You know, I don't need a pat on the back or anything, but just appreciate the amount of people that help and the amount of time and effort that goes into. It's not like we just go there and we play the game. There's days involved in setting up, packing trailers,
Going that far, yeah.
and that was you know, because we all had to come home afterwards. So like,
Yep.
the original plan was we were going to drive halfway again and stay somewhere and drive, but we couldn't. Like, people had to be at work.
Yep.
My kids had to be at school. So like, after that event, we cleaned up, and I felt bad for Corey because his kids slept the whole time while he drove, and you know, at least I had my kids, my wife, in my car to keep us awake and trade, but Corey had no trade off. But Corey's a worry. He's a true asset, and so is Greg and a lot of the other people who help out at these events. Like Phantom, when he comes out, is a great help. It's everyone has just been awesome over the years. I mean, there's a lot of people that don't come anymore that used to come a lot, and it's it happens. Like I said, people I don't make people come to my events, but it's nice having a big group that want to come help.
And I helped out vending a little bit and registration. I think I reffed a little bit for Apocalypse, and I reffed for Downfall, and that was really fun.
Yeah, and
just reffing.
Everyone's like, don't you like miss playing? And like, I enjoy other people having a good time just as much as I enjoyed me having a good time. Like, while getting to watch, like when I would go through the buildings at Draco and watching these guys have these amazing battles through these, like, I was just as happy watching that as I was being a part of it. Now, I would have kicked all your asses if I was in there playing, but
Draco. I think Draco, since I started playing Airsoft, is probably one of the top 5 games, like as far as my favorites, and that's just because fields like that are kind of one of the reasons why I play Airsoft. Like traveling far, I mean, it'd be nice if it was closer, but it wouldn't be as worth it then, I don't think. But getting a field like that, like that's a government training facility.
And they only allow 4 people a year to use it. And that's why it's like it was hard for me because we had the first year we went to do it, I had to cancel the game. We had nobody sign up. It was tough. Like we kept the tickets as cheap as we could take the tickets.
It is tough.
We had 6 registrations.
Yeah, we had 6 registrations when I called it for the first year, and that was a month and a half out from the game.
I was one of them.
It sucked. That was like a lot of people that come to my events. That was like their dream place to play.
Yeah,
and
I remember seeing videos of GTI on YouTube, and I was like, I want to play there someday.
Oh yeah.
Though we probably got the best footage out of any video from GTI because I sifted through so much video of GTI on YouTube, and none of them even came close to the stuff that. What much we made from there. Oh my god.
Even Josh Ross's video. He was my videographer. We had come out. His videos came out fantastic because it was so cool. And GTI is tough because like these other producers do games at GTI 400, 500, 600 players, and everyone, which is crazy. Like to me that they even get them players because everyone tells me when they go to these events they don't have a good time.
I feel like you'll get gridlocked with that many.
Well,
people.
you don't. One guy, Phil was telling me from One Legion that he went the one time and played at a game that was like 10 hours on Saturday and 6 hours or whatever on Sunday and never even stepped foot in a building.
That's crazy.
Because there's that many people on the roofs and stuff shooting at you and stuff that you couldn't even get to the buildings if you wanted to. And it's like early on I was like, I don't want that. I don't want that at all. I don't, once again, I hate to talk about money. I don't care about making a fortune at these events. That's not my thing. Otherworld is my hobby. Jackal's my business. That's how it goes. And I was like, I'm not having more than 200 players there, no matter what, and I wouldn't have.
Yeah.
And then GTI, it was awesome of them. I put my deposits down. I actually paid almost the whole event off, and they could have kept all that money with me canceling, and they didn't. They're like, Paul, it sucks. We hate that it happens. We want to give you another opportunity. We'll let you try again next year. So at least they gave us that opportunity. So that's why we worked so hard and gave whatever deals we could on lodging or whatever to try to make the game happen.
Oh God,
and now that it happened, we're gonna fight to keep making it happen because,
please.
I don't. If we get 200s to cap for that game, and if we get 150 every year, I'm still fine with it. Like it's, we want to be people to be able to sneak around that place, and because that's for me. Like I could care less if I ever shoot my gun when I play. I just want to be able to sneak around, complete objectives, and make sure I'm doing my part. Yeah,
I really like I call it venue-based airsoft events, AOs, stuff like that, where it's just something different. It adds back in that real world feel. But again, obviously we're still just playing airsoft.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you go and you shoot your gun and it's the same thing. It's the same thing. You're shooting at someone, getting hit, or hitting them. But when you have somewhere that looks cool, it's so much cooler to be there.
Yeah, but then when you get in those high intense situations, you have a technical in front of you, you're laying down in that ditch, there's explosions going off, you don't even know what's going on, the artillery explosion thing is right behind you.
Off the propane.
There's a drone flying over, you don't even know what's going on.
Everyone said they loved that I had the siren going the whole time in that building.
That was so... When we got there Friday, we were walking around. We were in that building when you fired that up, And we were like, what the hell is
But
going
it echoed.
on?
You could hear that through that entire. No matter where you were in that building, it echoed through that building.
Yeah, we were on the other side. We could hear it just ever so faintly.
Same with the propane cannons. You could hear them echo through inside any of the buildings, and it was like a whistle. And it was like boom, boom.
Yep.
It's how every sound the propane cannons went off in that building. But like, and that's what we try to do. We want to try to add some ambient sounds and stuff like to make you to get it in your head that like, you know, maybe it's a little bit more than just an airsoft game, you know. Yeah. And then one of the things that was hard for me too is like, you know, you start getting a lot of producers get these cool facilities, but like it gets to the point where everyone is going just for the facility. And like I want to feel like all the time and effort I put in was not just you're coming to my event just for the facility. I wanted to try to give a good game too.
Yeah.
And we worked really hard at like how can we do this at GTI? The skirmish stuff's probably not going to work. These buildings are 18-foot thick stone. You know, a nuclear freaking power plant. Like what are we going to do? And we figured out this was the best way. We'll use our old scoring system, and I think it worked out good.
Yeah.
You know, so believe me, I'd rather use skirmish. I don't got to go take score then. We just look at the computer. This is what the score was.
So nice.
It's easy, you know.
Yeah, it was really nice having those as the control points.
That's what I'm saying. You go to your AO, your base, especially when I'm sitting there flying drones and you're trying to coordinate like group of 4 or 5 guys who just got together. And you're like, all right, I need you to go and hit like Zulu 1, and then boom, they'll just run over that coordinate, and then you coordinate them from there.
Yeah, as being command for Draco, actually, that's what we were doing. We were like, all right, we have this point, this point, this point, and we're using the map to coordinate like a final draw line of like, hey, we don't want the Federation to get past a certain line, so we have as many control points as possible. And
with Draco, we will be doing Draco in 25, but we moved it to November, so we're going to go south when it's warmer, because I'm old and I hate the cold. Greg's the old man in the group, but I'm
Wait, south when it's warmer.
Yeah, it'll be warmer down there.
Is it colder?
Huh?
Want to be colder?
No, but it'll be warmer down there than here.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Okay.
Because we're gonna try to flip flop. So we're gonna try to have Code Orange in like September time, and Draco in the November time.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that way we're not freezing. Even though it wasn't, we got lucky. It wasn't bad for Code Orange, but
Yeah, Code Orange was just about perfect.
Yeah.
Like, it was in between where
it was great for playing, camping, not so much.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was freezing. But that's
just
my
hit
fault for
hotels.
camping.
Oh yeah,
I had a
Phantom stayed with me the second night. He did not camp the second night. He
Yeah.
came out
He didn't want to stay in the Havoc compound, which I understand.
Yeah, but like, you know, we'll talk about Code Orange a little bit here. Once again, you know, people always ask me like, how did that happen? Like, how did you get Code Orange? Well, like, the funny thing about Code Orange was originally with their first guy who held games there, I was supposed to have exclusive rights with him to do joint games. That fell through. Then another guy got involved and he was supposed to be getting removed, and I was supposed to have joint games again with that person. Then that didn't happen, and then a new company took over. I was supposed to have joint games. I got offered got offered exclusive rights. That didn't happen. I'm just happy that I finally got to do a game there. And from the sounds of it from them, they want me back. They said it was awesome dealing with my company. It was awesome how we cleaned up. They were happy with everything we did for the event. So as soon as we get that signed, we'll have dates for Code Orange as well. I'm gonna try to open ticket sales for Code Orange and Draco as soon as possible.
Yes.
Yeah, those
to
are
give
Jeez.
two really cool fields. Like,
Yep.
abandoned ass factory shit and prisons. It's just so cool to play there.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so eerie. It's
Yeah,
fun.
It was my
you
first
know?
time ever playing an AO like that, and I like what was it? 3 of our guys that I've been bringing to like almost every Milsim. It's their first year going, and I think I brought them out to some of the coolest AOs they
Yeah.
can start airsoft.
Yeah, this
on.
year has definitely been a highlight year for me playing airsoft.
Yeah,
100%.
well, Brett, it was funny we talked about the skirmish boxes. So Brandon was all in for making the prison work, and like Brandon from Skirmish, and he's been great. And he's like, we got to make it work because we were so worried. Obviously, you're putting these boxes in these metal cell blocks and stuff like that. And he's like, whatever it takes, I'll send you a bunch of rental boxes you can borrow because we have a bunch, we have a ton, but they're not cheap. These like people don't realize that shit's not cheap, but Brandon hooked us up and we got all these extenders and it worked out great. We had boxes in every building, multiple boxes in every building. We didn't have any real major glitches. I mean, we had minor stuff like batteries dying and stuff, but that was, we're definitely going to have that amount of boxes every year for Code Orange. So,
Yeah, I've been to Code Orange once before, and it was fun. But playing it for you, or playing because you had your event there, I saw way more buildings. I got the play around more, go up and down the tunnel, and it was so much fun.
I'll tell you, the windows are like make or break for me.
I know we talked about it a little bit off camera, but like never will understand that. I'm never going to eliminate if I'm trying to put you into a quote unquote Milsim, you know, one of the companies called me Milsim Light, by the way, they had windows closed, but Milsim company, we're going to be Milsim. Why can't you use those? Like, I want to understand. And once again, people loved it. They did not have a problem with the windows being open. Once again, call your technical. We need support on these windows and stuff. People got in the buildings fine.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god, at the one point in Draco, not to go back to it, but I took a smoke grenade on the drone. I put it right where the kill hole is, where you killed me. I put it right in front of it, and we pushed a bunch of guys through the middle. It's funny as hell.
Yeah.
But like, even those little crack spots, man, they can either make or break your like entire like.
Yeah.
But like we ended Code R. I couldn't have asked for a better game, and not from the player standpoint, the staff standpoint. Everything. I did not have a single person reach out with anything negative. That's the first time ever that has happened, where no one called to complain or no one messaged to complain. Everyone's feedback was positive, and I got the ultimate thing that was ever said to me that made me happy was this guy came with me. His first time ever at my events ever. He said, I've been at every single producer's event here at this prison that they've ever had. And all of them combined wasn't half as good as your game here. He said, I had something to do the entire game. I seen every building. The way you did the technicals was perfect. The amount of drones that were in the air was perfect. He's like, I couldn't just run out freely. I had to watch if a drone was watching me. He said, this was the most amazing time. And he said that the community that I play with, I will be bringing them all to your events from now on.
Yeah, baby.
And that was a new guy that I never met before.
And that's great to hear.
That's
that.
amazing.
Well, it was great to hear that because we put
so much.
This year was tough with Draco and Code Orange.
Yeah.
It was like, can we do these facilities the way we want to do them, and will players come?
Yeah.
You know, and you know, capping out Code Orange at the 300 we wanted was awesome. Mm-hmm. You know, so
I know it's probably a no and a liability thing, but what are the potential of rooftops ever?
At Code Orange?
Any field, really.
Well, it just depends on the field. So some people have allowed at the prison, at Code Orange, or at Crescent Prison,
oh, man, that'd be so cool.
to use the rooftops, but it's very dangerous.
Yeah, I get
the buildings. The buildings are very soggy on the roofs.
Yeah.
And there's the biggest ledge is like this tall.
Yeah.
Around the roof. So actually, I got with the guys who run the prison. And we discussed it, and we got with my insurance, and we discussed it, and we all came to the same conclusion that it's not safe. And in fact, he said they're probably not going to allow anyone from now on to use the rooftops there for safety. At GTI, it was kind of up to me.
Yeah.
But once again, you have a little ledge there, and it's already hard enough to get to the buildings. So as it is.
Yeah, I know one section, not to go back to Draco, but there was that one section that you kind of came out onto a roof and it had a railing, but there was this one section.
Call me there.
I know there was this one section that was off limits, but there was like a big hole cut in one of the ducting tubes, and you could go into that and somehow get to a ladder to go under a roof, and that just seemed really cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of that stuff. As cool as it is, for me, it just comes down to like safety.
Yeah,
like I'm probably more strict than a lot of producers are on safety. Mm-hmm. Just because like one bad accident ends this forever.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It does.
We've seen videos on YouTube like that one kid that fell off a second-story building with a sniper rifle.
Yeah,
by the way, which I saw that video. The kid fell 2 stories from the
There was
roof.
an event at the Lace Factory years ago. Someone fell down the elevator shaft.
The elevator shaft ones.
You know,
that was scary.
It's like we can't thank God that people are okay, but what if they weren't okay? Like it would change this game for us forever.
Yeah.
If someone died at one of these events, it would change it forever.
Yeah, kiss it goodbye, 'cause that's it.
It would. You would never do an event at a cool facility ever again if someone dies.
Yep.
You'd be stuck to only doing them at airsoft and paintball fields.
Yeah.
That would be it.
Which is pretty cool because we have a reasonably responsible like community that comes to the OWM events. So like you don't really have to worry about people overshooting or doing some stupid stuff or like hurting themselves.
Yeah. But we have everyone's like. Also, it's funny because I thought you were going to ask me what's my like dream event, and like people ask me that all the time. I will, and I've actually worked on it. I will one day be doing an event at either a cruise ship they're putting down, or a warship or something out in the ocean. It will happen one day. I promise you. Before I retire in airsoft, I will make that happen.
With helicopters.
That way, no one can tell us we can't play out there. Because no one's gonna stop in the ocean somewhere.
That'd be cool, like, to get your squad out there, you have to like ride out on those little swan thingy boats.
That would be awesome.
Oh god! And then you drop, you drop your $1,800 airsoft gun into the water.
Yeah, but it I think
it'd be cool to do a old nuclear launch facility. Like a whole underground silo.
So
whole underground
there's
system.
a lot of places I played at. I've been playing for about 15, 16 years, something like that.
You're old.
Yeah, I know. But I played at some cool places. There were a lot of military bases that were awesome to play at. Like Grayling and Shelby and a lot of these places that were the buildings are designed for training, so they don't care if you're throwing grenades and shit's not going to burn down. They're all made out of block. And, they were some of the most fun I've ever played at airsoft events ever. But unfortunately, as a community, we stop them from letting us use those facilities. So we're down to finding a place that's getting destroyed, or a place like GTI that's not owned. It's not owned by the government. It's privately owned. Letting us use them. I think we're getting more and more limited of cool places to play.
Yeah, I think that's the hardest part, especially if you want to be unique. To find something, to actually find who has ownership of it. And then if you can actually find that, you got to find, would they even let this happen? And then if they do, they might be like, well, I'll sell it to this person and this person. And then next thing you know, everybody's using that place.
And that's what's happened, and it's unfortunate. I don't blame places, but it is what it is. For instance, EMR, I found airsoft there. I had kind of exclusive thing for a couple years, but then money talked, and then you had Bad Blood that wanted to come into EMR and all that. Same with Skirmish. Skirmish they used to allow airsoft. We're done with airsoft. They weren't doing any airsoft till I went and negotiated with them to do airsoft, and now they let anyone and their mother do airsoft games there.
Yep.
So it gets harder and harder, especially with Skirmish. The Skirmish is a cool place, but it's going to get harder and harder for me to get numbers when you have an event every month there, and people can pick and choose I'm kind of busy in May, so I won't go to Otherworld game. I'll go to this one in American Milsim in June or whatever. And it's getting harder and harder. No matter how much work you put into finding a place, it's irrelevant. It's the same with I mentioned a little bit about Crescent Prison. It went down the way it went down, no big deal. But originally I was supposed to be involved in that, and we were going to have exclusive thing going on, me and Central Penn Milsim. And that got thrown out the window. They used me for my rules and for me to give them some insight of how to run a game at that scale, and then ghosted me. And it happens. And that's the thing is if you find a cool place to play, if their company makes money off of you, they're going to let anyone and their mother use it. That's why I can applaud GTI for only at least allowing 4. That way we know there's only 4 going to be down there a year, and it is what it is, But these other places like the prison, I'm concerned for the prison, If the new people running it let all these different producers keep coming every single year, each producer is going to get 100 players instead of the 200 or 300 players they should get, and it's eventually going to get stale.
Yeah.
If there's multiple, if people these guy who told me that was happy, he told me he's been at every event there, and he was happy to tell me he's been at every event. He's you can't tell me it's not going to get stale.
Yep.
Eventually,
Well, sometimes there's too many cooks at the kitchen, especially at this popular.
That's why we will keep trying to be unique with the Eclipse mission stuff and using the innovative stuff like Skirmish and stuff like that. We'll keep trying to make the games unique, but eventually it's going to get to the point where every place is going to be flooded. If we keep having new producers constantly come up, it's going to get flooded.
Yeah, but you also do a bunch of things that different producers don't do, the Eclipse missions. That alone sets you apart from everyone else.
Well, other people do stuff similar. I just don't charge people to do it. That's the difference. Is I don't got to double dip you. If you're already paying $100 to come to my game or $150. That's more than enough that I can let you do an extra Friday night mission.
Even if you did charge a little bit extra, even my guys, we found that to be a huge.
Well, we probably will. We probably will charge a small amount this year, $10 or $15, but only to guarantee the people will come, because we had so many people signed up that didn't show up, and other people didn't get a chance then. So we'll probably do that, and then all that money will just get reinvested into making the Eclipse missions better.
Because that Draco Eclipse mission, that was the coolest experience I've probably ever had. Especially at the end where you had like the actual control room, because you couldn't go there during the day.
Yeah.
You got to see the little bit of like cool part of the building.
Smoke machine in the control room and the lights.
And then at the end, he did the execution.
It
was.
Oh man,
That's
with a blank fire. See, I like the blank fire.
Yeah.
That was really fun.
With the
for
live
me.
fire, or the live.
Like I'm not a big fan.
Hey, close enough.
I'm not a big fan. Like I know some producers use it of like blank fire in the actual game. I just don't like the like, oh, what should I do? They're shooting blank fire. Oh, I should be ducking behind cover or whatever. Like other producers do it, and like it's cool that people like it for them. But I don't like it in my actual game. So this was a way that we could use it still because it's a story-driven mission and have a little bit like I like it more for the sound effects than I do the actual them shooting and stuff like that. But you know, to each his own with that kind of stuff. Like it's not my thing, but other producers use it and they're successful with it. So plus, I just don't like my blank fire guns we're always using are ones that are only blank fire guns. I will never let people use real guns that have kits to make them blank fire. Like I'm not going to go that route.
What was it? The one guy, the barbecue owner's son with that noob tube thing.
Oh, yeah,
clapping.
cool.
And Matt, I'm friends with him.
He's so cool.
Yeah, he's posted a lot of stuff on his social media about that propane powered.
Yeah, he liked it a lot, but he had a lot of problems with it. So hopefully they make a Gen 2 or something that works a little bit better.
I think he's working on.
You hear that, Corey? Get to working.
Corey, we have a lot of projects we want to do at Jackal. It's just the time to do them. We will. I'm telling you right now, we will have full seal kits for Pit Vipers here soon.
Yes.
Like we will do that because
I love running Pit Vipers, but now that I have night vision for a lot of these events, like I have my night vision that I'll be running all day long, so I need clear lenses. So I could do clear lens Pit Vipers.
That'd be
I need
dope.
clear
But-
lens for recording.
Do they make like a clear lens Pit Viper with like a clip-on sunshade?
no.
Maybe?
They do make clear lens Pit Vipers though.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wear my yellows during the day and flip to my clears at night.
Dude,
so.
I don't know what it is. I wore yellows once, but now I wear clear because of prescription. But I don't know if it's just me, but if you're like in the woods and you can't really see someone, and then you put yellow on, I feel like you can see like targets better.
It for me, it 100% amplifies me.
Yeah.
Same.
You know, yellow is like, in my opinion, yellow is the best lens. Like, I don't want the tint. I don't want those mirrored stuff. I want the yellow. The yellow is the best.
Well, I do another hobby of mine, sporting clay shooting, and a lot of the guys wear yellow because I guess it helps the birds stand out against the sky and the terrain and everything. It helps to get the orange clays stand out more.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys. I think we've talked for a couple hours now. We talked long enough. I want to thank you all once again for coming and everything you do to contribute to the companies as well. And there's a lot of people that aren't here that I can say the same thing about. And so we'll end it here. We'll get together again soon to do this. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And see you hopefully in 2025, Otherworld events, or if not, stop in the store, say hi, and as always, call your hits.